Let's make sure everything works fine before we actually start. Let's make sure everything works fine before we actually start. Okay, audio works. Hope everyone enjoys the sounds of the fucking Higurashi because they're not leaving anytime soon. But hey, what you gonna do, right? What you gonna do? Alright, so we're now starting chapter 5. It's been over 6 months since I finished chapter 4. So my reading and knowledge on this is going to be super low, which means I'm not going to remember everything, and all of my theories are fine to be theories, and if you got a problem with that, that's your own problem. You wasted your time typing on the computer or the phone, making some comments saying, like, oh, actually this happened, this happened, this happened. Dude, it's been months. Why do you think I would remember? It's like doing Crystal Towers in A Realm Reborn. Why do you expect me to remember any plot points for that for Shadowbringers when they made me do it at a point where I was at my lowest in FF? So, sorry, pal. Not gonna remember a lot of stuff. The only problem here is I don't remember if I was supposed to play with the new music or the old music. Because for those who don't remember, I use the 7th expansion mod, which basically just makes Higurashi more kin to what it's like on the consoles, which is arguably the definitive way to experience these games, but whatever. If I sense that there's no music that I recognize, then we'll fix it as we go on, but for right now, we'll just start. Mekashi? Beloved Cutthroat. We're off to a fantastic start, aren't we? Eye-opening chapter. Welcome to the world of Higurashi when they cry Kai. Okay. We've finally reached the halfway point. From the viewpoint of the protagonist, try to find the truth behind the tragedy that unfolds. The difficulty is very high. It won't be easy to comprehend the motives of the perpetrator. Alright, let me guess. Kids laughing? I don't know why they have that. This arc includes choices that were added into the console version. These choices result in dialogue changes and can lead to bad ends. Do you want to see these choices? There was only one of these choices in chapter 4, which was so weird to me. Like, what was objectively the point if there was only one option? Yeah, I'll just prompt the choices, because why not? She dropped her beads in the sand, so the girl cried. For 100 years, the girl searched the sands. They might have been in the ocean, not in the sand. So the girl cried. For 100 years, the girl searched the ocean. They might be in the mountains, not in the ocean. The girl's, okay, we're done reading. Ah, it's good to be back to Higa fucking Rashi. 7 keys were attached to the keychain. Without knowing which key was the correct one, I had to go by instinct and go through every key, one by one. On average, I would reach the correct key within 3.5 attempts. I'd be fortunate if I could open the lock within the first 3 keys. And I'd be unfortunate if I didn't. Why unfortunate? Are you being chased? I think that the worst case scenario would be getting the right key on the very last attempt. I can't tell if you're, like, about to die or if you're just being over dramatic about keys. I followed my nervousness. My head ached from it. So I put the key in and turned it. I just needed to repeat the small procedure several more times, but I couldn't stop shaking. Damn. Even a 3-year-old could do something this easy. So am I more childish than a 3-year-old? Okay, now you're definitely overreacting, dude. Whatever. I don't care if I'm clumsy. There you go. There you go. Start speaking some better shit there. I just need to try all of these keys. Even in the worst case scenario, the lock will open up on the 7th try. Shion?
うっそ。
Reality isn't always the same as math. What happened was the worst case scenario. None of the keys worked at all. I could feel the blood draining from my brain. How did I get the wrong set of keys? No, I definitely did see faint markings that says it's for this door. Am I just reading it wrong? Should I go back to the key cabinet and look for the right one? That would mean a great loss of time. Just having be here, I'm already risking so much. Something that could ruin everything might happen any moment. If I can't open this lock, do I have to go back to the administration office? If there were no choice, it'd be a waste to spend another second here. The administration office wouldn't necessarily be empty at this time. Somebody might come in. I won't be able to look for the right key if that happens. I stood up quickly, as if electrified. I was almost in a panic, so I felt the urge to move. My instinct pushed me. I have to go back as quickly as possible. It's so dangerous here. And it's also dangerous if someone comes into the administration office. What is going on, Shion? I cooled my head, making it as chilly as possible, to repress my fear. Calm down, Shion. Mion wouldn't panic in this situation. Yeah, she'd probably think of it as if she's like being a troublemaker, you know, doing her typical shit. Maybe I was just mistaken. Why don't I try the keys one more time? I'm starting to think this ain't the right OST. Shion sounds like a bitch, maybe. Okay, wait, where's mod menu? Okay, it was the old OST I was supposed to go for. Whoops. I thought it sounded like... I was like, this sounds familiar, but it also does not sound like the original OST, so I figured I'd test it. Okay. The next moment, I felt a faint vibration in the air. Someone was walking somewhere in the hallway. Well, you're fucked. If it were a normal situation, I would have known I wouldn't run into them, since the footsteps were far away. I swear to God, if it's Mion and she's gonna kill Shion or some shit, no, don't do it. We just started. But at the time, I couldn't think calmly. Nah, shit. Why am I panicking this much because of footsteps? I don't know. Ask yourself that. Oh wait, you did. I should be feeling excited instead. Calm down, calm down. I just need to do what I have to do. Don't kill. I should ignore the footsteps because they're not an immediate threat. Pretend that they aren't there. This is the world of Higurashi. You don't ignore fucking footsteps. I have to listen for something much more important right now. What could be... The Higurashi ain't going off, so you clearly can't listen to that. Shit. This key should be hard cold, but... Yeah, I don't know what you did to it. It feels like rubber. How could I stick this into the keyhole? I don't know, you've done it before. Shit, shit, shit. It wasn't the key that was... Can you stop making up words? It was my fingers that were limp. Well, no shit, you're probably scared out of your mind. The key sprung out of my hand and fell onto the floor. Where are we? Where the fuck even are we? It shouldn't have made any sound. But... it made a tremendous metal noise, as if someone pushed over a cupboard. Where are we? Where the fuck are we? I don't... Are we in a building? We're in Hinamizawa, right? I don't think we got anything this crazy. The sound almost stopped my heart. I felt dizzy for a while. I looked around afterwards carefully to see if I caused a disturbance in the surroundings. Calm down, calm down. Nothing's changed. I don't hear anything. So, am I safe? Calm down, calm down, calm down. Wait, I don't hear anything? But what about those footsteps in the distance? She's fucking crazy. Situation starting to sound. Well, we can't really see what's going on either, so. Are they looking for me after they notice the sound? Ah, shit. What is that sound I'm hearing? Is it sweat dropping onto the floor? I don't think sweat dropping onto the floor sounds like fucking chimes, Shion. What is the timeline here? Because it's obviously not the timeline that took place after the 4th chapter. Because Shion would be dead, but whatever. We just started. I don't think anything's gonna... How could I hear the sound of my sweat? Yeah, you're insane, clearly. Calm down, calm the fuck down. Alright, another Higurashi chapter with fuck in the game. I don't think even chapter 4 had that, and if it did, I don't remember. But I'm pretty sure it was only chapter 3 and chapter 5 so far that has had fuck. But whatever. I have to clarify. This isn't a prison or a detention center. Are you finally gonna tell us where the fuck we are? It's a private school. A private school? What? Why are we here? Not a normal one, though. It costs a fortune just to get in. It's a boarding school that provides education from elementary to university. So, wait. I'm assuming this isn't in Hinamizawa, then. Right? Being for girls only rather than a school, you could say that it's a factory that manufactures ladies. Whoa, hang on there, hang on there. That I don't know how I feel about that one. Some of my classmates here were never used to public transportation. Actually, if I'm remembering, didn't Shion bring up something about being in an all-girls school in the previous chapter? I don't remember. But it's been months, I don't know. Really, it isn't normal. To me, saying, "How nice to meet you," instead of just "hi," is already insane. And calling this teacher's sisters gives me the creeps. Whoa, what the fuck kind of school is this? Shion, you need to get the fuck out. Like, why don't we come over to Hinamizawa, we meet Keiichi and everyone else. You know, fuck this shit. Nah, man. I hate the morning and evening prayers. To say nothing on of the Sunday Mass. Damn. Oh, she's like me for real. I don't want to memorize the Bible passages. Preach, girl. And the Holy Ghost gives me a rash. What the fuck? If I stayed in this institution, that's what I called the place at least, for many years, I'd either go crazy or be brainwashed. Most of the girls chose to be brainwashed, but I can't do that. After all, I was more impressed by the political schemes and international trade behind religious propagation than the love of God, which the Bible teaches. Hey girl, that's your thing, you know? Can I join? We're already probably going to learn about Shiro-sama again, so I mean, I don't know. Because of that, I've been treated as a problematic child from the beginning. I've experienced lots of disadvantages as a result. I realized that quickly, so I superficially pretended to be normal. You pretended to be normal, is that what? No, never mind. I'm not going to bring up the other chapters. However, I got tired of acting, so I started to reveal my true nature from time to time. I became a problematic child once again. People started to treat me differently once again. It's fun to misbehave, but it wouldn't do anything for me in the long run. While politics and religion, this game is beginning to be begging to be boycotted. What do you mean? If you want to get technical, these chapters actually came out before the fucking PlayStation 2 era, if I recall correctly, and if not during the PlayStation 2 era. So they don't need to worry about that kind of shit. That's for damn certain. So why did I act that way? Why, even though I knew it was going to backfire on me later on? After examining my... What? Yeah, in fact, the Higurashi chapters were on PlayStation 2. They were on Nintendo DS. I think they were on the Wii. I don't know if they were on the Wii. If they were on the... I don't know. They might have been on the old school PlayStation 1 too, for all I know. But I think it's going based off of the original style or whatever. But yeah, Higurashi is a really old visual novel series. There's 8 chapters in total, not including the latest one that came out last year. Which, yeah, it's still going strong to this day. And I love it. It's a fucking awesome series. After examining my emotions, I realized I completely had it with my surroundings. I was afraid of being brainwashed in this institution. I can't live here. I won't let them brainwash me. 6 months ago, I decided to escape this place. The moment I made up my mind, I started to feel alive again. I acted ladylike in order to deceive the sisters. Pretending became fun once I'd set my goal. It gave me the creeps when they told me with smiles that it was God's influence that I started to behave religiously. I'm gonna die. I laughed at them behind their backs. I took on my classmates' duties in order to understand the layout of the school and the schedules of the staff and guards. Smart. I soon found out that the security of the school was immensely tight because there were many daughters of important people living here. The guards walked their beat randomly. There were surveillance cameras everywhere. The system that kept out intruders ironically also worked to prevent escapees. But that excited me instead. I simulated how to avoid all the surveillance camera in my head all the time. You're telling me then? Good shit. I mean, Nintendo also let Call of Duty World at War, Modern Warfare 2, I think also Modern Warfare 1, I think also Modern Warfare 3 on the Wii as well. So... And the DS, I think, also had some of the Shin Megami Tensei games. So... I drew an escape route in the corner of my notes during class to test it if it worked. Oh wait, I almost forgot. No More Heroes was on the Wii too. And yeah, I think they stopped after Modern Warfare 3, but yeah, I think they went from Modern Warfare to Modern Warfare 3 for the Wii games and DS games. No, I'm serious. They also had it on DS, but the DS versions were rated T, but the Wii versions still retained their rated M stuff, so... And as aforementioned, the Wii had other games like Mad World, No More Heroes. What else did it have? It had a lot of other M-rated games that were like exclusive to that Actually, I don't think Mad World's exclusive on there anymore. And No More Heroes got ported, but it used to be a Wii exclusive. I think Mad World might have also been on PlayStation 3, but I know it was also on the Wii, so... I drew an escape route in the corner of my notes during class and tested if it would work. I strove to acquire any necessary skills for escape. It was all fun. After all, the situation was cathartic to me. English is a word. This is who I am. No matter how hard they tried to brainwash me, I'd never change. I've been waiting for this moment to escape, preparing physically and mentally. First, I needed the courage to escape. I had to be confident in the plan. I had to think deeply about it. Also, I needed skills and physical strength. I imagined all the possible outcomes and trained myself. It was funny because I was finally able to enjoy gym class, even the long distance runs. I needed a perfect plan, as well as the physical strength and skills necessary to execute it. Also supported by those things, I needed determination. I made sure that I had all that I needed and executed the plan. I decided to plant a seed in the school before the appointed day. The seed was a rumor that one of the male teachers was having a relationship with a student. What the fuck? I won't go into the details now, but that can turn into an enormous problem in the school. The school is limited to girls precisely because their parents wanted to avoid these kind of problems. Those parents are mostly important people from various positions. If the romance was fact and leaked to the public, the principal would have to commit suicide and shit. Whoa, what the fuck? In fact, that might not even be enough. What the hell, dude? In a world of girls, rumors spread fast. Yeah, no shit. Especially when they're separated from boys and are obsessed with dirty thoughts. So this kind of rumor goes around really quickly. The sisters tried to get rid of that kind of rumor, and they warned the students not to be swayed by it. But apparently, the ones who were they were the ones who were swayed the most by the rumors. This means that I managed to make them fertily. What can you fertily? Why did I say fertily? That's not even the word. What? Fuck it. Whatever. To deal with something shady without contacting the families or authorities. So if I disappeared in these circumstances, it would look like I ran away with some teacher. This is... I don't know if that would work. All the male teachers would deny it, of course. However, the school wouldn't believe what they said so easily. After all, there's a dirty rumor going around. By the time the school finds out about my escape, after they eliminate all their possibilities, I'll be somewhere safe. I tried hard to spread the rumor that I was involved in the forbidden romance as widely as possible. The sisters questioned me several times, but since the romance was something that I'd made up, they couldn't find anything. No matter how hard they tried, they couldn't find any form of evidence. After 3 months, I was certain I created a solid foundation. I swapped after dinner duties with my classmates so I could adjust my schedule on this day. I was able to fill them with suspicion about me doing that. Now they'll definitely suspect I ran away with some male teacher. Tonight was the night. I began my chores after dinner. After lights out, somebody will find out about my disappearance. My generous roommate would probably wait 10 minutes before she reported me to his sister, but no longer than that. I had about an hour tops, but that's enough for me. I took a step off my regular route. It was the first step towards my great escape. Here we go with the chimes again, too. I calmed down and thought, the key shouldn't have been wrong. The lock is old and firm. Isn't it possible that I put the right one in, but the lock is just stiff, and I thought it was the wrong one? I realized that my nervousness was making me clumsy. The gloves that I'm wearing to avoid leaving fingerprints must be getting in the way, too. I should try the keys one more time. I picked the most probable one, gently inserted into the keyhole. It's stiff. If I twist it too strongly, I might break the key. The moment I thought I'd given up, I felt something on my fingertips. The key worked! I slowly opened the door. I could hear the crickets. Okay, I just looked it up. There were only 11 M-rated games on the original DS. And this isn't one of them. What? I thought Higurashi was on the DS. I'm pretty sure it was. Unless it was only in Japan. Higurashi DS. No, there's stuff saying that the DS version exists. Probably only in Japan, though. That might be the case. Maybe it doesn't exist outside of Japan. I don't know where you looked up, so I don't know if they were specifying. I mean, if you said M-rated, then they were probably only going for what's in America, maybe. Because from what I'm seeing, I'm only getting results with the Japan rating. So maybe the Higurashi on DS was only available in Japan then. I don't know. I could hear the crickets. I don't have to hesitate now. But somehow, I was reluctant to step outside. Why, bitch? Go. I could still make excuses up to this point. It might look awkward, but I still can. But if I take a step outside now, then there could be no excuse. If the guards find me, they'll take me to the office immediately. There have been escape attempts before. That's not really so strange. Maybe the closest I got was 2 other visual novels. Probably. I'm still surprised that there was only 11 M-rated original DS games. Like, that's definitely interesting to me. I actually did not know that. I mean, I knew there wasn't a lot as is, but... I don't think I'm the only heathen here. It's understandable that there have been people who, before who couldn't fit in this place. So the school was well aware of the possibility of escapees. I've heard rumors about what happened to those who were caught while escaping. I don't want to believe any of those stories, though. You see, all the school's horror stories involve students who attempted escapes. However, whatever, bring it on. Okay, this is definitely a new ST. If I've heard this one before, I don't recall. I'm not expecting to get a second chance anyway. There'll always be only one chance. Things get serious beyond this door. I sacked myself up and pushed open the door. A strong smell was hanging in the air. Is it normal for the outside? I never smelled this strong, gassy smell before. Is something going on? Do I have to be wary of it? Should I go back and wait for another chance? That's silly. There's nothing strange going on. This smell is something I smell every day. Then why were you questioning it at first? I just wasn't aware of it. It's true, isn't it? Even though I pretended to be cool, I'm nothing but a nervous wreck. Oh shit, actual art. Okay. Calm down, Shion. I can only rely on the map inside my head on this point forward. I researched the locations from all of the surveillance cameras. I'm confident I'll be able to avoid them all. But I'm not sure about the guards. They pick their patrol routes randomly after all. I have to take a chance. I could hide myself in most places. But there's an area where there's nowhere to hide for several meters. How far does their fucking security even go to? Oh, okay, I have to depend on my luck until the end. Even if I do my best, a guard might find me by mere chance. On the contrary, I might be able to get away no matter how unwisely I choose to move. If I'm lucky. I wouldn't risk it personally, but... Damn, after all that effort, it just boils down to luck? This is a gamble after all. When I realized that, I got excited. You really like... okay. Yeah, this is a gamble. I'm trying my luck. This is a game to test the determination to change my life. If somebody failed to escape the school, it meant they didn't have enough luck to survive in the real world. I mean, when you put it like that, it makes sense, but it's still not the right way to put it. But I'm different. I'm going to get out of here. I'm testing my luck. Here goes, Shion. I ignore the noisy bugs and concentrated only on the suspicious sounds. I heard no threats. The loudest sound wasn't the bugs, it was my own heartbeat. Even my own footsteps were loud as they could break my eardrums. With each and every step, my overreactive imagination tormented me with what the fucking words of unexpected run-ins with guards. Anyways, I'm imagining things. I'm high as shit. I'm escaping to school. No biggie. I'm crazy and shit. I'm probably gonna kill Keiichi and something. Countless times that torture grew too hard to bear, and I thought of running. But if I broke into a run, the noise I made would only draw suspicion. If anyone heard running at a time and place where people shouldn't be, they would realize something abnormal was happening. But if the footsteps they heard were just walking, they would just think nothing of it. Of course, I didn't plan on letting them hear those footsteps. I tried to extend my senses to get as much information as possible. I didn't sense anyone's presence. I might have felt safer if I heard a guard in the distance. I worried that my senses might not have been keen enough to detect anything. Somebody might be right behind me, without me being aware of it. I didn't want to make any noise, so I stopped from time to time. It's like I'm constantly fidgeting. Why are we going back and forth to this illustration? I like this illustration, but why are we going back and forth to it? To stop or to run? Something within urged me to choose either one. I can't choose to stop. I have to keep going, quickly and stealthily. I'm already risking too much just being out here. Running, of course, would be absurd. I know that. The urge to run continued to bug me. My head was filled with those thoughts as I went through this dangerous territory. I succeeded in passing through without running into anybody. I couldn't help but sit for a moment and exhale the rotten air into from my lungs. My negative thoughts vanished quickly. Just a little more to go. Just a little more. Just through that bush over there is a fence that separates this place and the outside world. Once again, I strongly felt the urge to run. I suppressed that desire and quickly tackled the final step. The beautiful-looking fence didn't seem designed to prevent escapes. While I was not worried that someone might see me climbing up the fence, it fortunately didn't happen. It was even possible that the fence might have a touch sensor. Oh. Wait, isn't this taking place in No, the fuck it wouldn't. It's too late now. It doesn't mean anything now, since I'm already climbing up. From the top of the fence seemed about 7 feet high. I have to climb down carefully, just like when I climbed up. I knew that logically, but I couldn't think it that way anymore. I chose to jump off with no hesitation. And of course I regretted my decision after the fall. I got scared during the flight and was longer than I expected. I didn't land beautifully, I fell on my butt. But there was nobody around to laugh. I didn't have time to be embarrassed. I looked around to see if anybody heard my landing. Even the crickets weren't interested in the sound I made, so I felt relieved. I looked at my watch. 5 minutes until 8 p.m. It was just a 15-minute escape. Putting a number to it really made it obvious how short it's been. Looking back, most of my time I was just asking myself questions and hesitating. Guess I just worry too much. But I can't be too relaxed yet. There's no guarantee that I fooled all the cameras. This place isn't a bank. There won't be a fire alarm going off if the guards did see me. It's possible they're rushing this way right now. I can't enjoy the air of freedom yet. I hid myself in the darkness and waited. There's still time left until the rendezvous. So, is this just the opening thing, like how the other Higurashis were? Or is Shion gonna be the protagonist for this chapter? I don't get it. Okay, let me just save real quick. I know I would normally go like in order and like save right here, but I chose not to. I watched the school premises while waiting, but it looked like nothing strange was going on. The building was lit up, and the beautiful Western-style architecture made it hard to believe that it was even a school. It should be armed with electrifying fences, searchlights, and guard dogs, for a prison that it is. I thought I'd experienced a surge of school memories in a situation like this, but it didn't happen. This sort of thing only happens when you have good memories. I have no good memories of this school, so there's nothing to really remember. But if I could pick a series of images to recall, it'd probably be the luxurious dinners that we had every night. So my memories would be nothing but international cuisine, Japanese, Chinese, French, and so on. What the hell? That's just too funny. I burst into laughter. At that point, I heard a car approaching. I crouched into the darkness. The plate number was the same as I was expecting. That's the car. I jumped out and rushed to the passenger side and opened the door and got in.
お勤めご苦労様です、シオンさん。
The driver was a man of at an early old age. He'd be angry if he heard me say that, though. He thinks he's still middle-aged. He looked at my face and learned that I had succeeded. He smiled.
シャバの空気は久しぶり。とにかく今は銀シャリが食いたいかな。
学園では上品なお料理ばかりが出てると聞いてましたが、シオンさんにだけは麦飯が出ていたんですか？
バカ、そんなわけないでしょ。冗談に決まってるじゃない。ほら、笑ってる暇があったらとっととアクセルを吹かす。
はいはい、仰せのままに。
Kasai really did laugh out loud. After telling me to buckle up, he accelerated. The cathedral-like school disappeared from the mirror in an instant. It disappeared so quick, I didn't have time for a surge of dinner memories. Goodbye, my lovely school days. Haha, I'm going to fill my stomach with junk food from now on. Don't do that. I'll forever be free from the table manners that you taught me. Ha! Serves you right, bitch! As we drove, the scenery began to change. Soon we were surrounded by vast fields of crops and few streetlights. It reminded me that this was just the countryside of Japan, not Europe.
お腹は空いてないですか？どこか飯の食えるところへ寄りましょうか。
食事してるからいい。
I lied. I'm actually a bit hungry. I didn't eat that much at dinners to avoid slowing myself down with a full stomach. I appreciated Kasai's offer, but I didn't feel like taking the time to eat while we're still in enemy territory.
この時間ですから、高速に上がってしまうとサービスエリアへ寄っても自販機しかないですよ。まあ最近はハンバーガーとかの自販機もありますけどね。そうそう、聞いた話では最近じゃおでんの自販機もあるって話です。
はあ？何それ？コーヒーの自動販売機みたいに器がポロッと出てきて押したボタンの具がボトボトって落ちてくるわけ？気持ち悪い。
そういうのじゃないらしいですよ。おでんの缶詰になってるそうで。
あ、ごめん。缶詰はパス。
缶詰
Still?
はい、もう子供じゃないでしょうに。
嫌なもんは嫌なの。うっさいな。もう何笑ってんの？
Kasai chuckled. He must have been trying to help me relax. He isn't usually so talkative.
私は疲れちゃったよ。少し寝させてもらいます。これ、リクライニングどうやって倒すの？
そっちの左側の根元を探ってみてください。レバーみたいなのがありませんか？
うん、あったあった。よっこらしょっと。
Kasai laughed again.
何か面白いこと私した？
いえいえ。
Why is the music fading away?
よっこらしょなんていう若くない言葉遣いが。
Okay. The music was fading away. I was like, no, you get the fuck back here, you bitch. I was like, we're not fucking doing this again. I don't like being in cars with like middle-aged / old strangers. Oishi made it feel really weird. Jesus Christ. Well, obviously, Mion and I are identical twins. We're perfect copies of each other. I don't know about that. When I react to something, so will Mion. When Mion reacts to something in a certain situation, I'll most likely react in the same way.
お姉は元気？
多分元気かと。私も親族会議の席に親父さんをお連れするときに少しすれ違う程度ですし。
そっか。お姉はもう実家じゃないんだったね。ひなみ沢の鬼ババのとこだっけ？
シオンさんが学園に入られるのと一緒の時期に園崎本家に移られました。
I responded with disinterest, even though that I was the one to ask about her in the first place. The main house is where Oryu, the current leader of the Sonozaki family, lives. That's my grandma, who I call a hag. Right, yep. I think are we about to start Higurashi? Is that what I'm hearing? But when we use the phrase the main house, that usually means more than just a dwelling. What Kasai refers to is the same thing.
少しは変わった？
ミオンさんがですか？
そう。あのばあさんと朝から晩まで顔を合わせてりゃ少しは変わるでしょ。
Kasai chuckled yet again. He knows I hate my grandma.
私が見る限り変わったようには感じません。シオンさんの知っているミオンさんのままですよ。
私はどう？私は変わった？
いいえ、全然。
Kasai responded quickly with a smirk. I haven't seen him for a while, though. It's not fun if he answers this so quickly. I glared at him, and then he busted out laughing.
全然変わっておられませんよ。あれだけのお嬢様学校に入られたのに、
チェー、好きなだけ笑ってろ。私は寝るよ、寝る。
後ろの席に毛布がありますよ。使ってください。
うん、ありがとう。
I grabbed the blanket and rolled up in it. I'm exhausted, but I can't go to sleep. It's strange. Or maybe not. I must be tired from the escape. It's just that I'm feeling so tense. So, I have to declare it once again, if only to calm myself.
寝る。私は寝るよ。
はいはい。さっきからもう3回目です。
It's the third time you've said that. Oh my god.
それとも私が許可しないと寝れないんですか？
今日のあんたは喋りすぎ。あんたが少し黙っててくんないと。ね、
失礼しました、姫君。ではしばらく黙らせてもらいます。
This interaction with Kasai reminded me of the old peaceful days in Okonomiya. I almost forgot how to say it. I'm probably still not saying it right, but still. Well, don't know if I could really call those days peaceful. We were in the middle of the dam protest back then, after all. Oh, here we go. Wait, actually, now I think about it, I don't think Shion ever really discussed too much about how she felt or what she was really doing too much around this time, so actually this might be interesting. We all united together, and now that I think about it, we pulled a lot of pretty dangerous stunts. If the authorities ever found out what I did, I'd never escape going to juvie. Well, at least half of the people in Mizawa would be sent off to prison. Yeah, probably true. I didn't think of them as criminal acts, though. I mean, it was a war. Oh, I guess we don't get to hear much about it, maybe. I don't know. It might have also been a festival. A festival where every person in Hinamizawa joined together in protest. Oh, God, when you say it like that. It was a struggle, but it was also fun. It was fun to throw stones at the riot police with everybody. Okay, at least we're getting some input here. We hid ourselves in somebody's home when they chased after us. We'd even go crowd around the police station, demanding the release of our arrested comrades. When we snuck into a construction site and sabotaged it, it felt more like we were playing at war than conducting one. I got so excited back then. I felt united with my fellow members, even though they were mainly strangers to me, and that memory warms my heart. Yes, the way it felt back then was like helping everyone carry a sacred fuck you through the village. Getting all sweaty and exhausted together. Until we'd all collapse face first into the ground, we shared our excitement and cheers with unfamiliar faces over tea. I was just a kid back then. I remember accompanying old men who worked for my dad out to the village to do various bad things. I was arrested a few times. It didn't feel any different, though, than when I was called into the teacher's office for forgetting my homework, lol. The villagers were furious about the dam project. But for those of us who were kids at the time, it was a pretty fun memory. All that came to a sudden end a few years ago. It wasn't only the power of the protest that ended the dam construction site. The Sonozaki family and my dad's organization had worked secretly in the shadows. This top secret information in the Sonozaki family, but it was said they may or may not have kidnapped the Minister of Construction's grandson. Yep, this is sounding familiar. Yeah, this is sounding like what happened in Chapter 4. Wait. Yeah, this was Chapter 4. I'm trying to remember when Chapter 4 took place. It's been too long, but it's been 6 months. No one can bitch at me for it. Of course I don't remember. Are you kidding me? I'm just here to fucking experience this story. In order to blackmail him. The grandson was found a few days after the abduction. He was found in the mountains of Yagochi? Yagao! I can't say. He didn't simply disappear. He wasn't even demoned away. Here we go. That means some kind of deal was made secretly. A year after that, the dam construction plan was halted indefinitely. The police suspected the villagers' involvement and investigated, but they couldn't find any leads. The villagers never betrayed each other. They would do anything to protect their fellow man. They fabricated fake alibis and fake evidence. And it was easy to deceive the police. The car suddenly shook, snapping me out of it. It must have been a run over a bump or something. I suddenly realized my expression was a very happy one for some reason. I must be looking forward to going home.
シオンさん、起きてますか？
何？
お帰りですが、沖宮でよろしいですよね？
他にどこに帰んのよ。
I answered straightforwardly with a frown. Kasai then also chose to reply straightforwardly.
シオンさんを全寮制の学園に入学させる決定は、園崎本家当主が下したものです。シオンさんはその学園を抜け出した。どういうことかお分かりですね。
ばあさんの決めた学校が私に合わなかったってだけでしょ。
シオンさん。
わーってるって。うっさいな。
As the head of the Sonozaki family, the hag's decisions are absolute. They're nothing like, say, a 3-second rule. Worse, the decision to confine me to the academy far away from the Sonozaki family was made before I was even born. Jesus Christ, really? Shion was the name that they gave me. My sister Mion was a character that means demon in her name. I remember that. That was to signify that she was the successor of demons. In other words, she would be the successor to the Sonozaki family and its demonic bloodline. My name, Shion, has the character that means temple in it. That means that I was tempted to take the evil and be confined in a temple. Or sorry, veil. Did I read evil? I think I read evil instead of veil, my bad. Thinking of that reminds me of how much I hate this name of mine. For starter, the person known as Shion is an abominable being to the Sonozaki family. Because it meant the family had 2 heirs, I don't have to cite the countless historical examples to explain. It's easy to imagine how that could prove troublesome for succession. According to our long-held family traditions, one of the twins was to be strangled to death right after birth. What the fuck? I don't remember that. I genuinely don't remember that. I mean, for all I know, maybe that was said, again, over 6 months. Unbelievable, isn't it? What that means is that I have to be grateful just to be alive and breathing to this day. I heard the hag actually put her hands around my neck after I was born. Aw, fuck. I don't know what exchange took place at the moment. Maybe some brave relative of mine managed to get her to stop. Or maybe she was in an extremely good mood that day. Then don't try to strangle me. We're twins. There are no apparent differences between us. But the first one out of my mom's stomach was named Mion, and the second one drew the short straw and got named Shion. Everyone else was desperate to tell us apart, but we sisters just found that awfully ridiculous. There wasn't any difference between us. No one could tell us apart, even if we only swapped hats. We wondered why all the grown-ups were trying to see the differences. Well, our fun as twins didn't last forever. One day, they created an undeniable and clear distinction between me and Mion. Mion went to the main Sonozaki house to live with the old hag to learn how to become successor, while I was confined at St. Lucia's. I have no objections to Sis's inheritance. I used to be jealous. But now, I feel like having to learn about and follow the traditions would make me feel tired. I even feel sorry for Mion. So I'm not going to be a threat to the family, even if I'm back in Okonomiya. But the hag doesn't seem to think that way. She thinks of me as some kind of evil omen. And that's why she wanted to keep me away from her. But that doesn't matter to me. I don't want to see her face either. I don't care if she doesn't allow me to enter Hinamizawa. She could charge me 10,000 yen per step I take there. But I want her to let me live in Okonomiya where I grew up. When I was little, I was in Hinamizawa, but I don't really remember it much. And I'm not too attached to it. I do have good memories of my elementary school days in Okonomiya. The town isn't very sophisticated, but I kind of like it there.
沖宮の町へ帰れば親族の誰かの目に触れることになります。
That's true.
やがては必ず本家の知るところになります。
ばあさんの耳に入ったらどうなるかってこと？まあそりゃあやばいことにはなるかもね。
お分かりならいいんですがね。
なーに、葛西。あんた今から私に引き返してあそこへ戻れって言ってるわけ？
まさか。そんなことは言いませんよ。私が言いたいのは
相応の覚悟はあるんだろうなってことでしょ。
口先だけでなく本当に理解してるんならいいんですがね。
ま、そうだろうね。万が一の時は脱走の手伝いをした葛西も責任は免れないだろうしね。葛西も小指に未練があるなら今のうちに小指にいっぱいキスをしておいた方がいいんじゃない？
Jesus.
その時はシオンさんもすまきにされて鬼ヶ淵沼に放り込まれるくらいの覚悟をしてくださいよ。ああ、あるいは本家離れの秘密部屋送りかも。
They have a torture room in the garden? I'm assuming they don't mean a literal garden, but what the fuck? I heard there's a big torture room in... Oh, wait, nope. It's all coming back to me. Oh, God, it's all coming back to me. Oh, no. Oh, no. I've never seen it, though. I heard they used to kill and torture the enemies of the village in there. Wait. Okay, I just have a theory. I know I only just started the chapter, but my theory, right? Maybe we're gonna see Shion's POV of what happened in chapter 2? Is... Because if I remember, chapter 5 through 8 is considered the Answers arc. So maybe we might go through some similar stories, but get some answers on extra things that we don't know about. Because if I remember, Satoko and Rika were also killed in chapter 2. Or was it just Satoko? It was either Satoko and Rika or just Satoko. I don't remember entirely. Because that was probably 2 years ago. But anyways. It's just awful, really. I hope I don't end up as a victim of that place.
はいはい。ま、なんとかなるって。
つくづくシオンさんは姉さんに似ている。その出たとこ勝負的なところが特にです。
Oh. Don't know why I thought anything weird about it.
そりゃ似るでしょ。実際の母親だもん。
My dad and mom would be furious if they found out about my escape. I'm more afraid of them than the hag. I don't want to go into details, but my dad is part of the Yakuza. Right, I do remember that. He's in charge of the organization, which covers the Shishibone area. He's in a very important position. So is Kasai here. He's an old friend of Dad, who really trusts him. I don't know if this is true, but I heard Kasai used to be very aggressive, although he's very gentle now. I also heard that he has tons of scars. He was in charge of a few large areas, but after he was injured badly in a fight, he retired. And now he's my dad's consultant, aka a drinking buddy. He was my caretaker in my childhood, and I feel like he's sort of like a butler. At first, I thought my dad asked him to supervise me, so I hated him. But in time, I started to feel like that he was really on my side. This is just a hunch, but I think Kasai used to be in love with my mom. What the fuck? Huh? My mom, dad, and Kasai were in a love triangle. Though my dad took the lead in the end, Kasai couldn't leave my mom entirely, so he stayed around as my dad's friend. I could tell that, from the way he acts, he's seeing my mom in me. That's why he says that I look like my mom every now and then. So wait, is this Kasai? Is this him? It kind of gave me the creeps at first, but he isn't a bad guy at all. He's actually pretty funny. I only found that out after I got used to him. So when I thought about escaping, naturally I turned to him. I contacted him in an early stage of my plan and arranged a time to meet him today. You could call him a fuck you. It's not surprising that he's worried about my return to Okonomiya. Considering the rules and traditions, cutting off his pinky finger isn't too far from reality. I might be rolled up in a futon mat and thrown into the swamp for real too, though. Even so, there's only one place for me to return. I'm going to Okonomiya, and nowhere else. That's my hometown. This might be some kind of homesickness, but I don't really care what it looks like.
実際どうするつもりです。園崎一族の目はそこいら中にありますよ。
And there goes OBS. Not surprised in the fucking slightest. Not surprised. This application never knows when to function properly. I swear to God. Let me guess, it's gonna go to 1,000 dropped frames and then it's gonna stop. Or maybe it'll keep going beyond that. I mean, it genuinely wouldn't be the first time, I swear. This fucking shit-for-brained application never knows when to work. It's terrible. God awful. And it's still going. Yep, it's still going. I'm not surprised in the slightest. And people ask why I can't stream Yakuza. Of course I can't stream Yakuza, because if there's a chance that this happens during an important story moment, of course I don't want to stream Yakuza with this bullshit. Like, God, man. I want a new fucking streaming application that actually works. Oh my God, it's doing it again. I looked away for 2 seconds. 2 fucking seconds, and now it's doing it again. Oh my God. Oh my fucking God. OBS is just genuinely a terrible fucking software. Fucking god awful. Like, there's nothing wrong with the internet, there's nothing wrong with the hardware, nothing. It just does this because it fucking feels like it. That's all its purpose is just to piss me the fuck off. And now it's gonna go to 2,000 drop frames against my will, because why not, right? Why not? Fuck you, OBS. I need a replacement for you, you piece of shit fucking program. Like, I wonder if there's any other programs that I could use to stream that won't make me want to blow my fucking brains out. Because, Jesus, man, I'm getting fed up with this bullshit. It's every stream where this happens now. It's so stupid. So dumb. Like, oh my god, man. Like, man. Like, how fuck? How the, I don't trust this damned application. I don't fucking trust it. How can I? Okay, anyways.
まあ最初はのんびり隠れながら過ごします。仮に姿を見られたってミオンだって言い張ればいいんだしね。
それから
で、ほとぼりが冷めてきたら私に近しい親類から徐々に打ち明けていく。私に味方になってくれる人たちだってそこそこにいるからね。私も親父と大喧嘩した時あちこちでいろんな人にかくまってもらったし。
なるほど。味方と既成事実を十分に作り上げてから最終的には園崎本家にもおめこぼしをもらおうというつもりですね。うまくいきますかどうか。
行くって。そもそも私を学園送りにする決定だって結構みんな反対してくれてたもんね。あれは私をやたらと嫌った鬼ババの猜疑心からの決定みたいなもんだったし。
True.
葛西もそう思うでしょ。
ええ、まあ私もあの決定にはさすがにやりすぎとは思いました。
鬼ババはとっくに更年期障害で正常な思考なんかできなくなってんの。あのダム戦争の興奮で頭がいかれちゃってまだその時の興奮が抜けきってないんじゃないかな。たく。
Kasai smiled. I couldn't go to sleep after all, even though I was rolled up in a blanket. Even though I told Kasai to shut up, I kept talking to him. In time, I got tired of talking. As I could feel the car run smoothly on the highway, Kasai spoke to me again.
シオンさん、ほら。
I was so tired that I ignored him. I wondered what he wanted me to look at, but I wasn't interested. Yet I opened my eyes slightly and saw a sign quickly pass by. Kasai probably wanted me to see that sign. It was an illusion around letters that said, "Welcome to Shishabone City." My hometown was coming right up. Oh hey, there's the chapter number and name. I was wondering when that was going to show up. KJ! KJ! It's all of them! Satoshi? No, bitch, you're dead. Tomatake, you're probably gonna die. Aw, it feels good seeing those names again. Even if we haven't seen them yet. Oh, fuck! Scared the shit out of me. God. Oh, that was, Oh! Why'd I skip the fucking opening on that? Why did I do that? Alright. Tip time. Wait. That's not the usual music, is it? I can't change it, though. Maybe this is new music. The Notebook's beginning. June 1982. Satoshi Hojo disappeared several days within the Watanagashi Festival. Here we go again. Aw, shit. Here we go again. There were 3 possible reasons for his disappearance. One possibility is that there was an accident. Dead bodies sometimes end up in irrigation channels a few months after hit-and-run incidents. But since the police did a thorough search of the area and hadn't found his body, this possibility seems very small. Fucking hell. Body. The second possibility is a self-motivated disappearance. Satoshi-kun has been living under dire circumstances. His close friends actually heard him imply that he might run away. The police thought he skipped town after killing his aunt. That seemed plausible considering the aspect, but the police arrested another person for the murder, so this hypothesis was also considered false. The last possibility is that he was involved in the series of mysterious deaths within Hinamizawa. Also called the Curse of Oyashiro-sama, he fell victim to it and disappeared. Unless Oyashiro-sama's occult power is actually verified, this curse must be also the act of humans. It's only natural to assume that Satoshi-kun was made to disappear by somebody's will. So the question is, whose? The possibilities are quite limited. The culprit is either a member of the Sonozaki family, a member of the three families, or one of their many relatives. The police can assume that easily. I need to think beyond that. Who did it? How did it happen? And why did it have to be done? Why did Satoshi-kun fall victim? What was the motive? Who gave out the order? Who actually did it? The mastermind, the culprit, and the truth. All were in reach of my grasp. Maybe I'll find them right behind my back. But even so, I can't reach anywhere. Or everywhere. There are parts of my back that I can make an effort to reach, clenching my teeth and cracking my joints so that the tips of my fingers can barely touch them. The truth is hidden in places like those. I'm writing this because I need to organize my thoughts and memories. Nobody will read it other than myself. But if somebody does, that means that either I threw these notes away because I'm no longer in need of them, or I fell victim to the curse of Oyashiro-sama in the middle of my attempt to solve this mystery. If it was the former, that's okay. But if it's the latter, please, I want you to help me. Please help this powerless young girl. Okay. So far, so good. AD 1982, where Reina has the fourth year of the series of the mysterious deaths of Hinamizawa, also known as Oyashiro-sama's curse, 1 year prior to Keiichi Maibara's transfer. I didn't hear a wake-up chime. I'm not in school anymore. My brain is half asleep, but I'm aware of that. Waking up to this at the same time of the chime go off at school doesn't feel very good. I can't go back to sleep after this. Still, I'm not gonna live a torturous school life anymore. I can make today either happy or boring. That's up to me. Yay, that's really positive. I feel like I'm alive for the first time in a while. I don't have any other clothes, so I'll be wearing the school track uniform. It's supposed to have been designed by some famous Italian person, but it just looks plain to me. It doesn't really feel great to still be in clothes from that school. I want to enjoy my freedom as soon as possible. I especially don't want to walk around outside wearing it. I should have Kasai bring me some new clothes later. I should also think about redecorating this room. After all, this is going to be my castle from now on. I don't know if these are new musics or not. I'm so used to the normal OSTs, like... Well, that doesn't help me. This is a room in a ginormous building in the suburbs of Okinomiya. The property is one real in my dad's... I can't read. Most of the residents moved out during that. So while there are plenty of rooms, it's a lonely complex that feels devoid of people. Plus, with the exception of the manager and a scam one or two others, the residents have shady-looking people connected to my dad. It probably won't be much longer before the residents are driven out. The apartment I'm living in used to be the room where they'd use for viewings, so it looks like a room in a business hotel. It's fully furnished, but lacking daily necessities. I'll buy those things over time,
むし
though.
ろその方がいいよね。自分の部屋っていう実感が湧くし。
I nodded to myself. It might have looked stupid, but it helped psych me up. At the school, there was a TV only in the common room. We weren't allowed to watch any cable channels. I zapped through all the channels as a form of yeah. It was early in the morning, so nothing interesting was on, but I enjoyed it anyway. Commercials are fun to watch. Kasai dropped by with lunch right when I started to feel hungry.
シオンさん、おはよう。ゆうべはよく眠れましたか？
ソファーに毛布でゴロ寝は結構辛いです。やっぱ日本人はちゃんと布団敷いて床に寝ないとね。たくあんが美味しい。
それはよかった。後で必要なものを教えてください。可能な限り揃えるようにします。
ありがとう。あ、でもそんなに気を使わないでいいです。私の好きで始めた生活だし。葛西だってたかられたらお財布持たないでしょ
I have to be serious about my plan. I can't let myself take advantage of Kasai's wallet forever.
バイトでもしようと思います。生活費くらいは自分で稼がないとね。私が選んだ生活なんだから自分で何とかするのは当
Oh,
然。
wait, I think I have a decent enough idea as to where this is going. Oh, fuck. Oh, fuck. In case it wasn't obvious, fear is rushing through me, and I'm not excited.
それはたくましい限りです。でもいいんですか？外を歩けばやがては親族の誰かに見つかりますよ。
そこは少しは考えてある。そこでミオンの力がいるわけよ。葛西さ、本家に電話してもらっていい？ミオンが出たら受話器変わって。
やれやれ、何を企んでるやら。どういう作戦ですか？
Kasai dialed the number. It's funny to me that we're calling the main house, even though that's the place most that I wanted to avoid.
もしもし。
おはようございます。ミオンさんですか？ご無沙汰しています。葛西です。ええ、おはようございます。少しお待ちいただけますか？今受話器を代わります。
I take the handset.
もしもし私が誰だかわかります？
その声は、でもそんなはずは、シオンはセントルチーア学園に幽閉されてるはず。そんなはずはない。
学園では外部との電話は禁止だからね。それが電話してきたってことは血の巡りの悪いお姉でも意味がわかるでしょ
あんた、学園抜け出したの？どうやって？
そんなことはどうでもいい。会いたかったですよ、お姉。
That was as far as I could take it. And Mion had hit her limit too. We both burst into laughter, unable to keep up our act. It's been a while since we had laughed out loud with each other like this.
久しぶりだよ、シオン。あんた本当にどうしたの？
どうしたもこうしたも。別に私は嘘吐いてないです。
って、じゃああんた、本当に脱走したの？やる。
私を閉じ込めておくには ちょっと警備が甘かったかもね。
学園はシオンが穏便に脱走したことに感謝するべきかもね。本気のシオンだったら全施設を爆破してから脱走するくらい朝飯前かも。
Jesus.
爆破はできないけど放火くらいはやるかもね。
Kasai smiled at us in amazement, his face a blend of amusement and yeah.
おね、今は電話大丈夫なの？
大丈夫。バッチャはお稽古に行っちゃってる。今日は帰りは夕方になるって言ってた。
それは好都合。近いうちに会って話をしましょうね。とりあえず今日のところは電話で。
うん。
本家に学園から私が脱走したっていう連絡は来てます？
んにゃ、来てない。本家の電話も来客も全部私が通すから、私を素通りしてバッチャに連絡行くことはない。
Perfect.
だから来てないって断言できると思う。
ほう、そりゃすごい。さすが園崎本家次期当主。
私はそんなの嫌だよ。シオンが変わってよ。
鬼がついてるのはお姉でしょ。まあせいぜい頑張ってください。陰ながら応援いたしております。まあそんなことはどうでもいいや。
すごい人事っぽい言い方だな。まあいいや。
私関連で何か動きがあったら葛西に連絡をよろです。ここの番号はお姉には教えてもいいかなと思うけど、しばらくは内緒にしときますね。ごめん。
そうだね。学園脱走したって話がバッチャの耳に入ったらいろいろ面倒になると思うよ。
Yep.
連絡の件は了解。何か動きがあったら葛西さんに伝えとく。
ありがとうです。それとあとお姉にお願いがあるんだけど。
そう来ると思った。あ、お金は無理だよ。
さすがにお金を無心できるとは思ってません。お姉にはちょっと私のバイトのお手伝いをお願いしたいんです。
なるほどね。そういうことか。で、具体的にはどうするの？
We can communicate fast in a situation like this. We don't have to get into details because we know what's on each other's minds.
吉郎おじさん、私の味方だったじゃないですか。吉郎おじさんの持ってるお店のどれかでバイトできないか打診してみます。で、シフトが決まったらお姉に連絡しますから。
あんたがバイトしてる時間帯には消えてりゃいいわけだね。めんどくさい役だな。
何ですかお姉。双子の妹の頼みを断る？
Oh my goodness.
本当に？
いいよいいよ、引き受けるよ。あんたの頼みは断ると後が嫌だ。
サンキューです。今度シュランクベルタのケーキでもおごるから。かわいいタルト山ほど食べさせてあげますから。
あ、シオン、シュランクベルタね。去年の秋に店閉じちゃったんだよ。
Eh?
あ、そうなんだ。
うん、マスターが脳梗塞で倒れてね。
Oh.
退院してから一度は店を開けたんだけど、やっぱり体が持たないらしくてさ、惜しまれたけど閉店しちゃったわけ。
そっか。そりゃあ残念です。欲張りモンブランをお腹いっぱい食べる夢はもう夢のままで終わっちゃったんですね。
I was disappointed that my favorite cake shop had closed down, but more so that this town had changed without my knowing while I was gone. It was kind of regrettable.
他にも変わったこと、私の知らないことある？
うん、いくつかある。今度会ったら全部話すね。
ありがとう。私も学園で見てきたこと全部話しますね。近いうちに機会を設けましょう。追ってこっちから連絡します。
うん、わかった。
ミオン、
何？
元気でやってる？
もちろん。
ならよかった。切るよ。
うん、じゃあね。
It really has been a while since I last talked to her. I put down the phone and heaved a sigh as Kasai brought in some tea.
結局どういう話になったんですか？
吉郎おじさん、私のことを可愛がっててくれたじゃない？おじさんにね、私が学園を抜け出してきたのを打ち明けようと思います。で、おじさんの持ってるお店のどれかでささやかに働かせてもらえたらなって。
人目に触れますよ。吉郎さんはいいとしても、他の親類に見つかるかもしれないじゃないですか。
そのためのお姉ってわけよ。私が働く時間が決まったらお姉に連絡する。で、お姉は私が働いている時間にはちょっと人目を忍んでくれればいいわけ。わかる？
Kasai looked puzzled. It's not really that difficult to grasp.
つまり簡単。バイト中に私が何か咎められるようなことになったら、私がミオンだと言い張ればいいだけの話なんです。お分かり？
Normal people wouldn't buy to this kind of plan. But Kasai knows too well how easy it is for my sis and me to trade
つ
places.
くづく大胆というか、悪知恵が働くというか。いやいや、
もちろん褒め言葉だよね、カサイ。
Kasai looked amazed. If things go south, it'll affect him too. Considering the rules of my dad's profession, he wouldn't be able to get away with a mere apology. That's why he doesn't want me to do anything too risky. I think I have to make it up to him, since he helped me escape even knowing of that risk.
ああ、任せとけよ。シオンちゃんのことをどうのこうの言うやつがいたら、俺が少し締めとくから。
Oh boy, yeah, I like being here. Yeah, I feel safe here. Yeah.
やっぱ吉郎おじさんは頼りになります。おじさんならきっと助けてくれると思ってました。
Uncle Yoshiro pounded his chest with his fist after offering me his assurance. He's glad that I turned to him first.
いいんだよ。俺はシオンちゃんの自分の生活費は自分で稼ぎたいっていう気概に感心してるんだ。金をたかりに来たんだったら本家に突き出してるところだぜ。
ああ、おじさん怖い。
I knew he was reliable. He understood my situation straight away and promised to help.
店長、シフト表持ってきました。ここに置きますね。
One of the store clerks brought out a work schedule. There are many things I'm unfamiliar with written on it.
で、シオンちゃんはどのくらい働けるんだい？
私とお姉の都合次第かな。できたら私の指定する日だけ入れるのが一番いいんですが。
おいおい、そんな虫のいいこと言うやつ面接じゃ会ったことないぜ。まあな、仕方ないもんな。
I'm depending on Mion for my work. Our schedules have to match. Of course, Uncle Yoshiro has understood that. But I also know that he couldn't afford a selfish part-timer who only works when she wants to. In the end, he decided to hire me as an office helper, not an official worker. That's better than nothing. As a temp, I wouldn't have a work schedule. My uncle also decided to pay me out of his own pocket.
生活費が稼げればそれで OK です。
じゃあ、そういうことで頼むぜ。一応金を払うんだから仕事中はしっかり頼むぜ。あと、事務所内じゃおじさんは勘弁な。
はいはい、分かってますよ。ふつつかものですけど、よろしく。
こちらこそどうぞよろしく。
Yeah, we're fucked. Once the business talk was over, my uncle hounded me with all kinds of questions. He asked me things like, what was it like at a pretentious school's boarding school? And so on. Apparently there were all kinds of rumors going around about St. Lucia Academy that I was confined to, and everyone was curious about it. I added a few embellishments of my own, as I explained how unordinary life at that school was. My uncle looked extremely delighted to hear all the details of life in the secret garden for girls. Horny bastard. Once my uncle was satisfied, it was my turn to ask all kinds of questions. I wanted to know if anything peculiar happened while I was gone. Fuck. I won't be able to act as Mion unless I can fill the gap of the information left in the past 2 years. That is true.
そんなに大きく変わったことはないな。ダム戦争が終わってからこっちはもうそりゃのんびりしたもんさ。
私はダムの計画中止が発表されて少ししてから学園に行ったからな。私がこっちにいた時はまだほんの少しピリピリしたムードが残ってましたよ。
Exactly.
中止発表の後の1年くらいは同盟も計画は凍結されただけで中止になったわけじゃないって言って神経質になってたんだけどな。翌年には解散式をやったよ。
They disbanded about a year later, huh? Which, not my problem though.
南沢の境内で大式典だった。それでダム戦争は本当に終わりだな。
じゃあ私が閉じ込められたすぐ後だ。戦争も終わっちゃってみんなふぬけちゃった感じ？
しおんちゃんなんかはダム戦争は戦争ごっこみたいで楽しかったんじゃないか。子供たちが警察のお世話になるたびに引き取りに行っていろいろいじめられた大人の身にもなってくれよ。
まあ確かに否定はできないかな。私ら子供にとってはダム戦争はかなり遊べるイベントでしたし。
Uncle Yoshiro seemed... So anyways, things
そういえ
happened.
ばバラバラ殺人なんてのがありましたよね。あのクソムカつく現場監督の野郎がバラバラにされたやつ。
Well, here's the Higurashi tone shift that I was expecting. Just, not how I expected it to go.
あれ、確か犯人がまだ全員捕まってなかったですよね。捕まったんですか？
ああ、確か初犯がまだ捕まってねえんだよな。そうそう、確か捕まってないはず。
しかもひなみ沢の守り神お社様を祀る綿流しの晩にね。当時お社様のたたりだって騒がれたのを覚えてます。あれ子供的には結構怖かったな。
ああ、お社様のたたりね。その翌年にも起きたんだよな。
そうそうあれも怖かったですね。何でしたっけ、ダムの賛成派の男が事故で死んだやつ。北条だっけ？
Yep.
しかもまたしてもお社様を祀る綿流しの日に。これはもうたたりしかありえないってずいぶん騒いだっけ。あれは怖かったです。うんうん。
The construction manager that everyone hated was killed and dismembered on the night of the Watanagashi festival. That incident on its own was more than intense enough for us kids. The worst part is that the body was never found, which made it almost like a ghost story amongst us. We seriously believed that the severed right arm was roaming in search of the body it belonged to. It didn't take long for a rumor of Oyashiro-sama's curse to become a topic of discussion amongst occult researchers and the like. Considering the circumstantial factors... Even so, the rumor faded away after about a year. After the dam project was officially frozen, we held Watanagashi purely as a festival. But the curse struck again. The victim was a pro-dam activist who lived in Hinamizawa by the name of Hojo. He and his wife were on a trip, and when they fell from the cliff to their deaths, it was considered an accident. Technically, the police were still looking for the wife's body. Yeah, I was wondering when they were going to bring that, because I was sitting back just like, wait, wasn't the wife's body either not found or she didn't die? If I remember right, they never did find it, did they? Once again, the man most worthy of Oyashiro-sama's curse fell victim to on the night of the Watanagashi festival. So fuss over Oyashiro-sama's curse rose up again. Until then, Oyashiro-sama wasn't considered very important. At least, in a world of us kids, it just seemed like the name of an object in worship for the shrine. Nothing more, nothing less. I see boys peeing on the art. What the fuck? I once stuck my head into the... What the fuck? The existence of God doesn't matter much to us. But after after two occurrences, I'm gonna shoot. The kids no longer doubted the existence of the curse. We were all shaking in fear of Oyashiro-sama. Everybody suddenly became more interested in the old stories about him too. We quietly listened to the musty old stories the elders had to tell, and we started to gently believing in the tales of Oyashiro-sama's miracles, which any of us would have laughed away before. Oyashiro-sama's rules were awfully simple and clear. Enemies treading into Hinamizawa will be cursed. Villagers leaving the village will be cursed. What defined the village was terribly vague. Were we never allowed to leave Hinamizawa village? Was going to Okonomiya still safe? Was a single step even to be out? Was a 3-day or 2-night hot spring trip still safe? We kids tried to draw a line. It was decided in the end that if you had a house in Hinamizawa or Okonomiya, you were safe. It was okay to go on trips if you had a house in either area. I know it's weird, but those rules were made up by kids after all. According to those rules, I'd be cursed, since I lived in a boarding school in such a remote area. I couldn't say that aloud because I felt embarrassed, but in that fact, I was a little scared of the curse.
でさ、その翌年にも起こったんだよな。
やっぱり2年連続ってのは結構きますよね。私は今でもお社様は信じてるな。
シオンちゃん、2年なんてもんじゃないよ。知らないの？
Oh no, here we go. Here we go.
知らないですよ。何の話？
そっか。シオンちゃんはあれの直前に学園に行っちゃったんだもんな。知らないよな。
Uncle Yoshiro grimaced as much as he said too much. As though he had mentioned something that I wasn't supposed to know about.
何おじさん。そこまで話を振っておいて、急に黙られると面白くないですよ。
まあ、シオンちゃんももう小さい子じゃないもんな。
おじさん、私を見てまだ小さい子供っていうのなら、眼科行くか回し蹴り食らうかのどちらかを選んでもらうことになるんですけど。
もう、わかったよ。別に隠しゃしないよ。あったんだよ。その後も。
あったって？おじさん、さっきから何の話？
Tick. When I was very little, I always had this tick before I heard something bad. It was like a gnome who lived inside of me, giving me some form of a warning. Like he was poking me with a small needle. When I felt this tick before my parents called me, they always either chide me or told me something bad. So I used to run away when I felt it. But my senses have been grown. They're dull, yeah. God, I can't read, Jesus. Even though the gnome poked at me, I just sat there.
実は賛成派の北条が転落事故で死んだ次の年にもな。つまりは去年なんだが、またあったんだよ。
あったって、また綿流しの日に？3年連続で？また？
そうなんだよ。ほら、ひなみ沢の神社あるよな。古出神社。あそこの神主が祭りの夜に突然ぽっくりいっちまってよ。聞いた話じゃ原因不明の奇病で急死したとかしないとか。それもまたしても綿流しの夜に。で、かみさんもその晩のうちに沼に飛び込んじまって、村長たちが集まっててんやわんやの。
Yep, welcome to Hinamizawa.
うん。奇病ってのはおひれだと思うけどね。急死したってのは本当。神主さんは綿流しの準備で大変だったと思うし、あの頃は少し体調崩してたみたいだからね。 急性心不全とかそういう感じのよくあるやつだったんだと私は思ってるけどね。でも綿流しの日にってのが異常でしょ。それも3年連続で。普通に考えたら人の死がこうも同じ日に重なるなんてことは考えられない。警察も検視したみたいだけど、その後に特に騒がなかったってことは死因に不審な点はなかったってことじゃないの。まあでもシオンの言う通り、人の死が3年も続いて綿流しの日に重なるとやっぱり普通じゃないって思うね。それにさっきお姉も言った通り、お社様にたたられそうな人ばかり開始する。これは絶対に何かあります。たたりでも陰謀でも、とにかく絶対裏に何か因果関係がある。
I decided to meet up with Mion at the library near the Okonomiya train station. It's not that I don't trust Mion, but I don't want to let her know where I live. That's fair, can't argue with that. Not many people use this library, so I won't see anybody from Hinamizawa here. It's very convenient for meeting someone in secret. After we discussed my life plan and work schedule, we moved to small talk. I've been away from this town for years. Things have changed. I asked Mion about those changes in detail in order to fill in the gaps. While talking about various things, I brought up what Uncle Yoshiro had told me about Oyashiro-sama's curse. Even before I had left town, the curse had already struck twice. The dismemberment murder was the first year had quite an impact. And the year after, the pro-dam activist couple fell off a cliff. On the day the villagers were enjoying their Watanagashi festival since the dam project was indefinitely frozen. This one also left quite the impact. The evil construction site manager was punished the next year. The traitor who the village met the same fate. If it had only happened once, people would have concluded that as just a bizarre coincidence. When it happened 2 years in a row, people were far more likely to believe it was a curse. I know up to that part. And after I left town, the curse struck again for the third time. People talked about the curse more intensely than ever before, both in Hinamizawa and in Okonomiya. I have to rethink this. Oyashiro-sama's curse was drastically gained credibility while I was away. It was still unclear with the first two incidents, but after a continued 3 years straight, people's doubts changed to convictions. Yeah. Even though the priest who had died the third year wasn't an enemy to the villagers, the fact that people in Hinamizawa didn't care for him much added even more credibility to such idea.
神主は確か嫌われてませんでした？同盟の役員から。日和見主義なんじゃないかって叩かれてたね。戦争末期は同盟内でも過激な理論がまかり通ってたから。
Feels so weird standing in front of Mion now, knowing what she is capable of and what she has done in the past. Well, I don't even know if we can say the past, really, because technically that past hasn't happened. I don't know.
神主さんの穏健な態度は、そういう人たちにとって気に食わないものだったと思うね。
The priest had looked strict and scary. The way he spoke was always so formal. But in reality, he was very warm and reserved. Perhaps it was because he was the son-in-law having married into his family. I'm sure the priest and his personalities were a perfect fit for managing the shrine that was used for summer festivals and village meetings. But that gathering spot style atmosphere of the shrine changed completely when the dam war broke out, and because the headquarters for Anavaguchi Guardians. Prior to the dam protests, hardly anyone worshipped Oyashiro-sama. Of course, the devout elders said paid worship to him. Jesus Christ! But the average person treated our god like how you would treat a fortune telling. That's how I do a lot of the time. Fair enough. Once the dam protests began, Oyashiro-sama had suddenly hauled out the as a symbol of the village residents, tracing the Oyashiro-sama's faith back into its roots. It was an exclusive elitist faith. It was believed its members were descended from a holy ancestor, different from the masses at the foot of the mountain, and those tainted masses should never come near the village. Of course, such self-centered ideology wasn't acceptable anymore in peaceful post-war Japan. The idea still remained, and they God damn it. Back to fan the flames of nationalism and unite the town against the dam project. What is this view again? I forgot what this view is. This view isn't the school, I know that much. I have no fucking clue where this is supposed to be. For all I know, this we could probably see Keiichi's house somewhere. I don't know. I could be wrong on that factor, though. With the revival of those ideas, things only grew more radical by the day. And it didn't take long for the Onafuguchi Guardians to become aggressive. After that, we were in a state of war. 100 million, burning as one, killed the... Whoa, wait a minute. I don't think I'm allowed to say that out loud. I don't think I can say that out loud. Nuh-uh. What not but victory? I don't think I can say that. Whoa, holy shit. That's probably not what they mean, but still. Adults and kids both were gnawing at the bit to repel the foreign invaders, describing it like it makes it sound kind of awful, like a reminder of the dark times of wartime Japan. But like I said before, for us kids, it felt like a war and more of a village-wide festival, or felt less like a war, right? Yet, despite calling it a festival, they were treated coldly. Their heartlessness lived up to the expression wartime regimen. The Hojo couple, who had voiced their acceptance of the dam project, were in the midst of the atmosphere, were truly brave. Then, on the second year of the curse, they died in an accident. And everyone believed it was Oyashiro-sama's curse, without question. They were branded traitors and enemies of the village. The Hojo couple faced worse than being... Everyone gave them a cold shoulder and talked behind their backs. The only person who didn't treat them as badly was the priest. While the priest never objected the anti-dam movement, he also never objected to the Hojo couple's advocacy, for accepting the government's eviction, and you know what I mean. God damn it, man, I can't read. Those unforgivable Hojos became a slogan of the three families, especially the Zonozakis, united the village and turning them into scapegoats. So they have found it very shameful to have a fellow member of the three families approve that, especially when it was the priest at the shrine that had to be the symbol of the dam protests. As central figures in Hinamizawa, the three families were the backbones of the Onafuguchi Guardians, so a difference of opinion was made undesirable. I'm left-clicking! And the priest was never accused of anything, but secretly people whispered that he was a heretic and that he was unfit to serve as Oyashiro-sama's priest, that Oyashiro-sama's curse would soon strike him down along with other rumors.
今にして考えると、神主さんって結構大人だったのかもねって思いません?
He was pretty cool, managing to keep his head and remain neutral while everyone around him grew fervent. I thought Mion would share my opinion when I chimed back in. So when Mion gave me a forced smile and didn't agree with me, I was taken by surprise.
本当に大人だったらあそこは周りに合わせて強調すべきところだったと思うね。ウルデのおじさんは単に神社の神主だっただけじゃなく、ひなみ沢全体が結束しなくちゃならない時に模範となるべき御三家の人間が自分から輪を乱すのは、それが大人と呼べるかどうかは私には難しいな。
I was taken aback. I barely managed to say the following.
ふーん。
Even though we were identical twins, we still had our own unique identities. Well, obviously, you're two different people. And not to mention, you both were in two different complete situations. So naturally, every now and then our opinions differed. But usually only over some trivial matter. We never had a difference of opinions this big. I am left clicking. What the fuck? It wasn't an enjoyable feeling. I decided to probe her some
お
more.
姉の言う協調って言葉がなんだか好きじゃないんですけど、つまりそれって何？村全体を考えて神主さんは自分の考えを隠しているべきだったって、そういう話？要するに全体主義の中で個を主張するなと、そういう話？別にそこまでは言わないけど、ただやっぱり御三家の長の一人なんだから、もう少し言動は慎重にしてもよかったんじゃないかって、そういうことだよ。
Yeah. I mean, no, that's fair. I don't trust you, Mion, but that's fair. Mion faltered a bit as my tone grew more like a cross-examination. I realized I was speaking too harshly. What Mion expressed was probably the more mature opinion on our scale. When everyone needs to work together and stand up to a vast enemy like the government, people should refrain from actions that would destabilize that alliance. Writing it out and reading it now, I can understand that. But I wasn't mature enough to agree on such... Yeah. Oops. Wait, Oh! I guess the mouse wheel does that. Didn't know. And I forgot space just hides it. Okay. Or maybe it wasn't me at all. It was Mion who made that mature judgment. We have been separated for over a year. I've been away from the town. In the meantime, Mion has been training to take over the handship of the Sonozaki family. She had been treated as such before I was confined to that institution. She sat next to the hag in ceremonies and in meetings. She took her place when the hag was absent. But that was just it. We were never that different. Mion had become very like a successor since I've been gone.
ふーん。お姉もいつの間にか大人になっちゃいましたね。
She seemed to get what I was implying.
やっぱり私もバッチャみたいな考え方になっちゃってきたかな。いいじゃないですか。お姉は次期当主なんだから。いつまでも下々と同じ考え方じゃまずいでしょ。さすが帝王学を学んだだけのことはある。そんなの学んでないよ。どうやればバッチャのふりができるかって、それだけだよ。シオンにだって簡単にできるよ。そんなのやりたくないです。ばあさんのおもりはミオンのお役目。ま、疲れない程度にほどほどに頑張りなさいませ。
I didn't mean to be cold, but Mion seemed to take it that way. She smiled as if trying to pacify me. I smiled gently back at her.
お姉？ミオン？何？確かに私たちの別離はいつも穏便じゃなかった。名前を引き離され、住まいを引き離され、そして体を引き離された時もいつもね。
Mion looked down with a serious face, but then looked right back
あん
up.
たは私がそのあたりで逆恨みしてるんじゃないかって思ってるかもしれない。でもそれは誤解。そりゃ確かに確執はあったよ。でもそんなのは時間で流れる程度のもの。あんたが引け目を感じるようなことは何もない。
Up until birth, we were perfectly equal. Right after birth, we were separated by the grown-ups' priorities. I used to get mad about it when I was little. There's no denying that. But we wouldn't have to start disagreement over it. Mion seems to understand what I'm trying to say. We each have our own characteristics, even though we're identical twins. Only we know the differences. We're also dependent on each other because of them. Mion seems more dependent. She always worries about me. If somebody gave her a cookie, she would divide it in two and give me one of the half. If somebody gave her candy, she would wait until I said it was okay to eat it. On the contrary, I'm cold. I don't care about others if I'm satisfied. I'd put the candy in my mouth right away. I have to emphasize that I don't hate her. I'm well aware that she loves me. We both know that. Mion must have been hesitating to put the candy of the successor in her mouth, and was waiting to see if I was okay with that.
頑張れ、ミオン。私もシオンを頑張る。
I tapped her forehead with my fist lightly. Mion put her forehead against my fist as if trying to feel my warmth. She is Mion, and I'm Shion. She's the successor to the Sonozaki family, and I'm just a vagabond. Whatever that means. This isn't a distinction, or rather, our individuality. We shouldn't worry too much about the other anymore. We should feel relaxed, living as who we are, with our own characteristics. I didn't have to say that out loud. We can communicate by touch, just like this.
ありがとう。シオン。頑張ろう、ミオン。困ったことがあったらいつでも相談して。私たちはいつだってそうやってきた。それはこれからも何も変わらないよ。
Mion kept nodding, with her forehead against my fist. I said goodbye to Mion before it turned to evening. We had talked about the things that had happened during my time away, and I enjoyed having that chat between sisters very much. We were able to solve our unsettled emotions. We didn't used to do that. Maybe it's because we hadn't seen each other in over a year. It was late afternoon. My heart felt lighter now. I stretched and looked up to the sky. The sky was clear, blue, and far away. No matter how tall I grow, I'll never be able to touch that sky. I'm Shion Sonozaki, a girl who escaped from the life that she was forced to live. Nobody will praise me for what I did, and for what I'm going to do. But this is what I chose.
なんだ。私だって大人な考え方
At
できる
times,
じゃない。
yes you can. At times, yes you can. I psyched myself up. I should go shopping for dinner. Though I have Kasai's help, I need to save money. I love junk food, but it'd be cheaper to cook. Ironically, the culinary classes from that evil school will actually come in handy. Why not go to the shopping district in Kami-ishiki? If I'm going there, then I'd have to take another street. Or the other street. The cool breeze in the late afternoon felt really nice on my skin. Kasai came into the door while I was putting stuff I bought into the fridge.
あ、待って待って。今鍵開けます。
お買い物の帰りですか？お疲れ様です。
買い物程度で疲れてちゃたまんないよ。
I no believe you.
あ、葛西も食べてく？一人者にはスーパーの野菜の単位は大きすぎだしね。
よろしいんですか？ご厄介になってもいいものでしたらぜひ。
Kasai looked curious about what I'd cook.
チェー、その顔は全然信じてないな。見てろ。
これらは冷蔵庫でいいんですか？入れておきますよ。
あ、悪いね。 2人分だとお米はこのくらいかな。よっこらしょっと。
Kasai skillfully packed the food into the fridge while glancing at them in each turn. He noticed something.
シオンさん、相変わらず缶詰はダメなんですか？
I hadn't bought any. That was, of course, on purpose.
缶詰を避けての買い物はいろいろ。
理屈じゃ分かってんだけどね。無理強いされりゃ食べないこともないけど。それでも私はやっぱりパスだな。
悪かったと思ってます。少しふざけすぎたと思ってますよ。だからそろそろあんなくだらない話忘れてくださってもいいのに。
ああ、もううっさいな。男が厨房にチャラチャラ出入りしない。テレビでも見てておとなしくしててよ。
Kasai chuckled and left. I know this sounds stupid, but I hate canned food. If someone told me that there was canned food in a meal that I just ate, I'd throw up. It started with a silly thing. Kasai told me a horror story when I was little. You know, one of those urban legends about meat made from an unknown source. Like those rumors about how there's worn meat mixed with into burger patties with dog meat and beef bowls. Because I had fun telling me one of those stories before because of how scared I got. He had fun, but I obviously didn't. I even started to cry in the canned food section of the supermarket. That's how much I hated it. I don't freak out like that anymore, but I still don't like canned food. Since I don't like it, I didn't force myself, and now I live my life naturally avoiding canned food. I mean, to be fair, I don't really care for canned food anyway. It just feels it's weird. It's fucking weird. I don't know. One of the big differences between us twins is that Mion doesn't have this issue. Kasai feels responsible for this, but he can't rid me of that fear. Still, a flaw like this is actually a good thing. Otherwise, I'd be too perfect.
カサイ、机の上の新聞どけて。
いい匂いですね。ごちそうになります。
量が足りないと思ったら、あとは勝手に牛丼屋さんにでも行くこと。あ、テレビを切らないで。私は静かな食卓ってやつが苦手だから。
では、いただきます。
で、カサイ何の用だったの？何か用事があってきたんでしょ？
I handed him a cup of tea. I could wait until dinner was over, but I wanted to get straight to the point. I don't like how the music stopped.
食事が終わってからの方がいいかと思ってましたが、食べながらにしますか？
カサイが来た時点でずっと何の用か気になってるから。先に言ってくれた方がご飯の通りが良くていいかもです。
自宅に学園から電話が今日ありました。
Uh-oh.
今日そりゃ遅いね。よっぽど表沙汰にしたくなかったと見えるな。で、どうなったの？
電話は茜さんが取りました。親父さんには後で折を見て話すそうです。
Uh-oh. Akane-san is my mom. That's what Kasai calls her, as he's known her since her marriage.
で、母さんなんか言ってた？
I was lucky she answered the phone. Since she's relatively on my side.
仕方のないやつだとも、こういう結果も決して予想外ではなかったような顔つきでしたね。
親父にはまだ知らせてないんだ。
茜さんなりにタイミングを測っているんでしょう。多分2、3日中には話すものと思います。
親父はばあさん寄りだからな。耳に入れば自動的にあいつにも伝えるだろうな。で、伝わったら見つけ次第即刻ここへ連れてこい。申し開きの意見によっては指の1本や2本ってことになるだろうね。おっかない子って。
笑い事で済めばいいんですがね。シオンさんの指だけじゃ済まないかもしれないってとこだけあちちちち
がっつくからだよ。あ、ちなみに味噌汁もご飯も作りすぎてるから、おかわりは強制ね。3杯は絶対食べること。
A few days later, Mion told me that the hag had heard about my escape.
で、ばあさんはどんな感じだった？
バッチャはカンカンでさ、もしも沖宮界隈に帰ってきてるなら、祖国見つけ次第自分の前に引っ立てろってさ。
怖っ。で、実際に親父とかの動向は？
近々の親族会議でシオンをかくまってないか問いただすみたいだね。でも若いのに街中を探させるとか、そういう真似はしないみたいだよ。
Holding a family council means that things will remain in the hag's hands alone. She won't search the town for me. It's like she's unofficially approving of my presence. Of course, I'll get caught immediately if they find me in a large public area.
母さんが随分暗躍してくれたみたいだね。
I could tell she's being supportive. It's a long story, but my mom is sort of an outlaw, even though she's of the Sonozaki bloodline. Long time ago, she had a huge fight with the hag because she hated the family's rules and traditions. She was even... okay, that's a word. My mom was supposed to be the successor, but she was deprived of the title and Sis took her place. While she's quiet now, Mom's still an outlaw. She's always been on my side because I also hated the rules and traditions.
親父、最初はすっごくカンカンだったらしいよ。母さんがだいぶなだめたらしい。何のかんの言っても、親父は最後には母さんには勝てないからね。
オッケー、ありがとう。また何かあったら教えてね。本当にヤバくなったら、私もこの町を離れるつもりだから。葛西とか吉郎おじさんとか、それに母さんとか、世話になった人の顔は潰せないからね。お姉、あんたが今何を考えてるかわかりますよ。どうして同じ血を分けた姉妹なのに、シオンだけこんな隠れるように生活しなきゃならないのか、でしょ？
Mion was silent. That meant yes.
シオンだけ、こんな窮屈な思いをするのはフェアじゃないよ。絶対。
ありがとう。気持ちだけでも嬉しいです。おね。
表に出たい時とかあったら相談して。シオンがいつでもミオンになれるよう協力するからさ。
She sounded apologetic. I shouldn't go quiet or agree with her. She sticks to things a little too much. Once she goes down, she'll stay there for a while. So I just told her simply.
ありがとう。実はそれが一番ありがたいです。じゃあ切りますね。
じゃあね。またね。
Alright. Is this the end of this chapter, or do we still got more to go through? Oh, nope, end of the chapter, evidently. Now I think, okay, how many achievements are in this chapter? 16. Okay, read all the tips and how to chat with Ryuka. What the fuck? Okay, let's view the tips. Smudged diary. Satoko was crying while hiding behind my back. Wait. Is this the POV of Satoshi? She has been crying while clinging on to me, so my back was wet with her tears and snot. My aunt had been screaming hysterically, but she looked tired now. I suddenly realized that it was already past 1 in the morning. She vomited a series of screams one last time, then finally called it quits. Satoko seemed exhausted. She was looking down in a state of shock. After my aunt walked away, She didn't realize that she had been freed. So I stroked her head and told her.
終わったよ。さとこ。
Satoko twitched. Her eyes grew bright again. Her tears rolled down her cheeks. She looked up at my face. If I have to kill Satoko's uncle again, I fucking will. Don't think I won't. She knew it was over, but she wanted to hear it directly from me, so she begged me with a look. To be honest, I was really exhausted too. So I felt a bit annoyed when she tried to make me say it, but I needed to pacify her. So I gently told her what she wanted to hear.
もうおばさんの小言は終わったよ。だからね。ねよ。
Satoko clung into me while her tears continued to fall. She was crying again silently. Satoko was shivering pitifully. Her small back reminded me that there was nobody else to protect her.
さあ、歯を磨いて、それから布団を敷こう。そしてぐっすり休もう。
Satoko smiled faintly and nodded. I felt dizzy, as if I was released from the strain, and harsh drowsiness fell upon me. While Satoko was washing her face, I went to the toilet. I zoned out while... No. In my dizziness, I almost missed the shot. Okay, buddy. I felt like I was being sucked into the toilet. I couldn't even remember what caused it. Why did my aunt start screaming today? I forgot that their aunt was also a bitch, too. Almost forgot about that shit. Almost forgot about that fucking shit. Alright, let's continue. I can definitely tell from the achievements that exist, there's gonna be a lot more chapters than in chapter 4, which is good. I like more content. Makes me wonder how long this will really be, though. It was a very quiet afternoon as always. Since I can't go outside as myself, I have to match schedules with Mion whenever I go shopping. I've gotten used to it by now, so it's no longer a hassle. Because of this, I naturally have to buy things in bulk. So I shuttled between shops in my home.
あれは買った、これも買った。ああ、そうだ。今日って100円セールの日じゃなかったっけ？忘れてた。
Being in a good mood, I spun around with my arms spread out. I felt like a little whirlwind. My arm hit a motorcycle parked on the sidewalk. It obviously wasn't where it was supposed to be.
もう何こんなとこに止めてるの誰？
I gave it a kick with no hesitation. If this is the same motorcycle that I'm thinking of, I think I have an idea as to where this is going. There were 3 motorcycles lined up there in a row, and they felt like dominoes. It was a beautiful sight. This was fun, I thought. Being in such a good mood made me leave my guard down. I didn't realize the owners of my motorcycles were right nearby, and they looked pretty scary. They grabbed me by the neck and dragged me into a dark alley. Oh, great. Then they called me all kinds of names. Everything was happening too quickly for me to grasp what was really going on. Oh! Whoa. They really cannot talk properly. I didn't have a clue what they were saying. I had to translate their alien tongue to normal human words in order to understand. We are very upset because we knocked down your motorcycle, because you knocked down our motorcycles. You should immediately pay us for the repair and compensation. Yeah, That was probably what it was. That's our offer. What do you say? We would be happy to listen to your opinion. Well. Something along the lines of that? Oh.
あー、ごめんなさい。さすがにそろそろ翻訳不能かも。
I know what they're trying to say, but somebody has to warn them about the way they park their. Why did they stop that there? What the fuck? It wouldn't be fair to those who obey the rules if there were no punishment for those who disobey them. This is an accident, but must also be God's will. Oh, don't say that. But God, can you use me to punish these guys? But how will you compensate me later? What? I heaved a large sigh. Of course. I wasn't afraid in this situation at all, because it wasn't a dangerous one for me. These three guys were yelling at the top of their lungs at a girl who didn't look good at doing it, and they had many disadvantages. First, there were the differences in gender and the number of people. Even if I did something wrong, men shouting at a woman, it didn't make them look as though they were in the right. True, even if you did do something wrong, it seems kind of, scummy out of context. Added to that, there were three of them, and they already looked like they were going to get violent. Second, the location. Taking a girl into a dark, narrow alleyway was already a bad idea. On top of they were asking for money, not just as an apology. Thanks to these facts, the public will be on my side. So this was a fight that they couldn't possibly win. The only way for them to win would be to take my money before somebody finds out. Considering that, taking me to this narrow, secluded alleyway might have been a smart move, since fewer people will find out about the situation. I knew how slim their chances of winning were. From the very beginning, they had picked the wrong girl. I'm Mion Sonozaki now. It'd be foolish to mug her in Okonomiya. Soon enough, the people in Hinamizawa would notice me and gather round. They don't spare mercy to their enemies, no matter what. The punks didn't know this area well. If they did, they had known how silly it was to rob Mion. Plus, the alleyway wasn't always empty as they assumed. This side street is a shortcut which local people frequently use on their way home. Oh, you're fucked now. In the late afternoon, many people will be passing through here. That time had almost arrived. If I had held off a little longer, the street would soon be filled with people. Then the punks would have to go away. I didn't have to do anything. I just had to wait in order to win. It was a simple fight like that. While they could hurl abusive language at me, or lift me up by the collar, they weren't actually going to resort to violence. Cheers to the educational system for ingraining the ladies first mindset. What? Why? But as a wicked person, I wanted to toy with them a bit, even though I could win this just by waiting. I wanted to paint them as even more villainous and drive them into a corner that would be even harder to talk their way out of. That demonic desire was rearing its horns. To put it painfully, I'd only need to act as the poor, helpless victim a little further. Like the pathetic, pitiful, tragic heroine that everyone wants to sympathize with. In a case like this, I shouldn't start crying immediately, because they get nervous and draw back. If it were truly a threatening situation, that would work, but I needed something different here. I'd pretend to be strong at first. In fact, I thought, why not challenge them? Excuse me? And eventually I'd start trembling, my voice would fade, then I'd get my tears in my eyes. It'd be even better if I played the role of a strong girl who's slowly given into fear. Mia and I were probably the only ones capable of pulling this kind of stuff off. Well, I'm probably better than her.
そんなにしつこく言わなくてもいいでしょ。悪かったって。 言ってるじゃないですか。
I talked back with a little hesitation. Am I getting tears yet? Yes! By the way, I heard men can't shed tears on command. What? Who told you that? I feel sorry for them. The three punks faltered a bit due to my sudden change in attitude, but they soon started yelling at me again. I had to keep going. That way they'd blatantly look like they were picking on a helpless girl.
もう許してください。
なんだよこら。さっきまでの椅子はどこ行ったんだよ、にゃろ。
Finally, they're talking. I was about to bring up how lazy this feels because they weren't really saying shit.
そんなのだって
Well,
そんな今頃泣くくれなら調子くれてんじゃねえんだよ、たくよ。
it looked like that they were laying off a bit. Did I overdo it a little? It'd be boring if they let me go now. At any moment.
いい加減にしないか。
Holy shit, we actually get to see a Satoshi sprite. Holy fuck. This is the first time we're seeing Satoshi. Holy fuck. Hello.
もう泣いているじゃないか。やめてやれ。
A boy around my age appeared. He was skinny. He looked weak. He looked younger than he probably was. He also looked smart. He bravely glared at the punks.
だなこの野郎。足んねえことしてった邪魔するな。
The punks turned away from me and faced the boy instead. The boy looked a bit agitated when the punks started yelling at him. They sure were ruthless, but the boy must have known that from the beginning. He must have known that he was going into a dangerous situation, yet he didn't hesitate.
黙ってたらわからんがな。返事せんか返事。
He must have wanted to shout back at them, but he'd probably never used that kind of language in his life. So he couldn't have expressed his feelings out loud. He might have not even known what to say. He just kept glaring at them to let them know that he ain't going nowhere. The three punks, though, might have thought he was just at a loss of words in his fear. But I knew different. The boy was overpowering them with nothing but his own will. Those punks were losing, so they resorted to violence. They grabbed him and knocked him down. They kicked and tossed him around. It looked painful, but I knew that it was his victory. In the end, local passerby stopped the punks. They made no further fuss and went away. The boy stood up, covered in dust. God, I can't stutter. He smiled when our eyes met and asked me if I was alright. He didn't look particularly okay himself, though.
あんたもよくもまあ勝てない喧嘩を買う人ですね。次からは勝てる算段がついてから喧嘩を買うことを深くお勧めしますけどね。
最初は迷ったよ。
He's probably suffered worse, to be fair. He laughed, saying that he was watching from the beginning. That meant he had the option to walk away, but instead he worked up the courage and stepped in.
そういうのは勇気って言わず、万身の程知らずとも言うかな。
うん。ミオンは口が減らないね。助けてくれてありがとうくらい言ってくれよ。泣いてたじゃないか。
別に泣いてなんかいません。あれはちょっとした演技で。
いいよ、演技でも。
You better believe, bitch.
ちょっと信じてないでしょ。私が本当に泣き出すと思いますか？
思わないよ。天下御免の園崎ミオンが不良にいじめられて泣き出したなんて誰も思わないよ。
何を笑ってるんですか？全然信じてないでしょ。私が半泣きなんてするわけない。
信じるから信じるから。
I realized one thing. He must have been one of Sis's friends. He didn't seem to realize I was her twin. He thought I was Mion with a different hairstyle. Mion and I had lived separately since before we went to elementary school. Mion was in Hinamizawa, and I was in Okonomiya. I lived in a totally different environment than her, and now the dog is barking. Fuck my life. Happiness can never really come my way, huh? I realized that today. I realized that. Oh no. Let's wait to see if she will shut up so I can read normally, because her existence is for naught. So it's not strange that people don't know me. Actually, only few people know that I exist. I almost told him I'm not Mion, but I managed to stop myself. Shion shouldn't even be here. He's from Hinamizawa. It wouldn't be good if he thought that he saw a Mion look-alike in Okonomiya. So I had to act like Mion. Dealing with him could be more difficult than handling those punks.
でもまあ、ミオンにも少しは女の子らしいところがあったんで安心したよ。
なんだか妙に引っかかる言い方ですけど、つまりはどういう意味です？
ミオンのことだから、なんだか珍妙な憲法でも使って瞬く間に撃退してしまうんじゃないかって期待してたね。だから泣き出した時は正直驚いた。
あれは泣き真似だったって言ってるじゃないですか。さっきから人の話ちゃんと聞いて。
He gently put his hand on top of my head and stroked it, as if stroking a kitten. I could remember somebody doing this to me when I was little, but it had been quite some time since someone stroked my head. I didn't know what to do. Why did it make me feel so embarrassed? My face reddened all at once, and I was unable to say anything.
バカにしてます？ひょっとして。
No, this ain't Rika head patting you, so you're not being made fun of. I stuttered in embarrassment. He looked calm, as if he was used to doing this.
なんでもいいよ。よかったじゃないか。
よかったって何がです？
無事で。
He smiled while he kept stroking my head. His smile looked divine. He wasn't going to stay for long. He had already saved me from those guys after all.
じゃあ、僕は行かなきゃならないから、そろそろ行くね。
あ、うん。
I wanted to go through all the steps of meeting someone for the first time, but he didn't. As far as he was concerned, he just saved a friend from danger and wanted to leave quickly to avoid seeming... Yeah. He and Mion must have been friends who knew each other well. So I couldn't bring myself to ask, "What's your name?" Mion's friend smiled again. His smile looked refreshing as the clear blue sky. This time he smiled, but mischievously.
安心しなよ。ミオンが泣いてたなんて誰にも言わないから。もっとも言ったところで誰も信じないだろうけどね。天下無双の委員長が泣いてたなんて絶対誰も信じない。
He patted the dust off his butt once again. He walked back in the sunny main road, away from the dark alley. Then he turned around.
じゃあまた明日学校でね。
うん、学校で。
He disappeared into the brightly lit street. I continued to sit in the gloomy alleyway. This looks very gloomy. I could no longer see him. I was just staring absent-mindedly at the bright light. That was the first time I met Satoshi-kun. And the last time. If I'm not allowed to walk freely under the sun, I met a boy on a sunny day. How come yeah. Don't fall in love. That's dangerous and bad.
そりゃあサトシだよ、サトシ。その特徴的な雰囲気と気安く頭を撫でる癖は間違いないね。
サトシくんって言うんだ。
The boy from earlier is called Satoshi Hojo-kun. Mion said that he was always daydreaming. So she didn't believe that he saved me at first.
普段はしっかり者の妹にいろいろと尻を叩かれてるな。
妹がいるんだ。
うん。妹は貞子って言ってね。なかなか面白いやつだよ。なかなか悪知恵が働くしね。そのくせ追い詰められると泣くし。
Huh.
見てて退屈しない子だね。
Yeah, she's a brat. If I remember, yeah, she's a brat.
まあ、最近はいろいろとあってね。ちょっと調子を落としてるけど。
His sister came up naturally in the conversation. I tried to soak up every scrap of information about Satoshi-kun. Why? Why am I trying to learn so much about him? As I asked myself that, the feeling I got when he stroked my head came back to me. I must have been blushing.
もしもし、シオン？
ごめん。聞いてる。
そもそもね、サトコがおばと折り合いが悪いらしいんだよね。サトシは大人だから、その辺はうまく立ち回ってるんだけどさ、サトコは嫌なことがあると素直に表情に出しちゃうからね。
What Sis told me was very interesting. She told me that the parents of Satoshi-kun and his little sister are dead. Satoshi-kun and Satoko are now living with their uncle and aunt. They don't seem like very respectable people. They're always fighting, and the uncle is cheating on the aunt. Fucking great. Thanks for reminding me of shit. He mostly lives with his mistress. Satoshi-kun and Satoko entered into that unwelcome environment. What surprises me the most is the fact that Satoshi-kun's parents were the Hojo couple who were leaders of the pro-dam activists. The fact must have added something to the situation. I don't know what kind of stance the uncle and aunt took about the damn conflict, but they must have taken some indirect blows. Satoshi-kun's parents died after bothering them so much, and even left them their children. The uncle and aunt obviously can't love those kids. Things have gotten worse this past year too. Women can be nasty bullies. Sometimes it doesn't matter who they're bullying, even if it's a kid. On top of that, women tend to care less about property than men. As a result, Sachiko seems exhausted with it all. I can imagine Satoshi-kun bravely protecting his little sister, just like when he saved me.
なら、サトシくんも普段は疲れてるってことになるのかな。
え？
サトコがおばにいじめられるたびに、きっとサトシくんは妹をかばってると思う。妹が疲れるのと同じくらい、サトシくんも疲れてると思うのは、私の考えすぎ？
どうだろうね。
Had I said something wrong? Mion sounded a bit taken aback. So that meant Mion can't tell how he's feeling. Because he's always wearing that blank look. So she never even considered it. How can she be that insensitive enough though she's always around him all the time? I was amazed to realize that.
まあそんな話はいいや。で、彼は普段はどんなことをしてるの？文系みたいだから読書とか好きなわけ？
想像に漏れずに普段は読書して過ごしてるよ。最近読んでる本はね、なんて言ったかな。
I continued asking about him, about what he likes, dislikes, and what he thinks about. I asked Sis all kinds of questions because I wanted to know more about him. It was the first time that I had ever been interested in somebody. Alright, you better end it. Oh, wait, you probably won't, because then when Keiichi shows up, things just get weirder and weirder, evidently. You know, it's just how it's gonna be. I didn't want to admit that I had feelings like that. Did I fall in love just because of a stroke of a head? Am I stupid or what? When I remember the feeling of his hand on my head, my heart feels tingly. I tried doing it myself, but it just didn't feel the same. I must be stupid. What am I doing stroking my own head?
おねえ、私もうダメだ。バカになっちゃった。
え？何を突然気色悪い声で笑い出して。
おねえにはわかるまい、この気持ち。
When would I see him again? I felt as if my suffocating life had already grown brighter. Well, maybe it has. How else will we know? The life I had lived was beginning to suffocate me. I couldn't go out freely, and I always had to make arrangements with Mion before going to work. I had thought my life would improve after escaping the school, but in reality, it wasn't that easy. It's not healthy to live like this for too long. Without any friends to hang out with, it felt like I was hibernating. I started to feel the dangers of falling into boredom. All I could think of was how Satoshi-kun... now was Satoshi-kun's face. I'd only met him briefly, but my encounter with him had a great impact on my new life. Felt like something exciting was going to happen. Really, I was hyped up like a little kid. The more I thought about it, the more I realized I'd been thinking about him a lot recently. This might be a crush. I felt a little ridiculous idolizing him in a romantic way, though. Hey, I would feel like I'd have to, like, punch myself in the chest if I ever felt like romantic shit, you know? And even then, it's hard for me, too. Like, you would have to, like, really hard press me to even consider the idea. And even if I do consider the idea, I'm probably just sitting back just like, nah, pain would be involved with that. Bye-bye. Then, out of the blue, I got a chance to see him again.
あれ？
I saw a familiar face in the twilight in the park. He was sitting on a swing. He looked like he was zoning out, or maybe deep in thought. He didn't notice me, even though I was in front of him. I reminded myself to speak like Mion before talking to him.
へい！何やってんのこんなとこでさ。
ミオンか。びっくりしたな。
そんなに驚いてるようには見えないけどね。さっきからいたんだけど、ずっと気づかなかった？
そうなのかい？ごめん、気づかなかったよ。
He smiled yeah, that's a word, and shrugged. He looked depressed. Like something was troubling him.
何か悩み事でも？聞いて楽になるものなら聞くし、力になれるものなら惜しまないけど。
いや、別に。
私はサトシ君には一個借りがあるからね。それとも何？おじさんじゃ力になれないと思ってるわけ？見くびられたもんだな。
別に。ミオンの力を借りたら意味がないことだからさ。
ほう。それは何？私ごとき女の手は借りたくないってこと？
Thinking him unfair, I puffed my cheeks in a sulky gesture. Satoshi-kun noticed that and smiled.
違うんだよ、ミオン。僕に実力がなくて、ここ一番で打てなかったってだけのことなんだよ。
I mentally rifled through all the information about Satoshi-kun that Sis had given me. He doesn't look like much of an athlete, but apparently Satoshi-kun belongs to a junior baseball team. That would explain the bat for other uses. They're called the Hinamizawa Fighters. Oh god. Oh, the memories hurt. The memories hurt. The memories. They fucking hurt, dude. I doubt he's very skilled, since I didn't hear much about his contributions to the team. Or I don't know if I said doubt or not, whatever. Maybe that's why he doesn't tell anybody that he's a member. Given how down he felt as a result of messing up, though, he must be fairly dedicated. I deduced all that Sis told me, and carefully chose my words as to sound like her.
なんだ、そんなことで落ち込んでるわけ？
そんなことでって簡単に言ってくれるな、ミオンは。
I pat his back while chuckling. Satoshi-kun would probably call me insensitive. I knew I should listen to him rather than trying to cheer him up. Acting like Sis was probably the wrong thing to do in this case, but I didn't have a choice. This is how she'd react in this situation.
それなら落ち込むんじゃなくて、なお一層練習に打ち込んで次のチャンスを目指すのが適当ってもんでしょうが。こういう時は練習しかないよ、練習。まあ、サトシ君に相手のピッチャーに小細工をしてまで勝ちたいという執念があるなら、おじさんいろいろと協力できるかもしれませんけどね。
This is probably how Mion would do it.
ずるしても何の意味もないよ。
There's no point if I cheat.
はあ。
Satoshi-kun hung his head over after letting out his regrets with a big sigh. Surrender, defeat, resignation, whatever that word is, were all visible in that gesture.
諦めがいいのか未練たらたらなのか。やっぱり男に生まれたからには一度くらいは晴れ舞台でスターになってみたいでしょう。
Satoshi-kun grinned and said yes. No, make him say yes. Why is this chapter so hellbent on just telling us what people are saying through fucking... Why? This is not how the other chapters went.
もちろんヒーローを目指すのが花だけど、それが目的で野球をやってるわけじゃないよ。純粋にボールを投げたり打ったりするのが楽しいからやってるんだよ。ミオンでもそういうのわかるよね。
おじさんはそういうのはあんまわかんないかな。私は結果が一番であるならどんな種目でも大好きだし、一番になれないのに大好きなんてものはあんまりよくわかんないね。
ミオンらしい答えだな。
Having realized that I'm trying to make him feel better, he laughed along. He doesn't look so depressed anymore. I guess he was just feeling down because of the game. He wasn't as depressed as I thought. Maybe I just jumped to conclusions when I saw him sitting alone here in the park.
でもミオンは一番になるためにいろいろと努力をするからね。それは偉いと思うよ。うん。
He smiled gently and stood up, and then started stroking my head. All of a sudden, I was totally not prepared for that.
あ
I thought this when he did this last time, but how can you just stroke someone's head so easily? I felt like I had turned into a little kid. Memories from kindergarten came to mind. My face must have been red. I felt embarrassed, but also like I was in heaven. Satoshi-kun stroked me as though petting a cat. I was blushing with my eyes closed. I felt helpless, like a girl being treated by a dentist with her mouth open and her eyes shut. Satoshi-kun didn't even seem to notice my feelings at all. He didn't seem to care. I hate him. With my eyes closed, I waited for him to finish. He suddenly withdrew his hand.
じゃあ僕はそろそろ帰るよ。おばさんに野球の帰りに買い物をしてくるよう頼まれてるから。
あ、
My voice faltered. I was so embarrassed.
買い物なら夕飯の買い物。
あれミオも買い物するんだ。お手伝いさんが全部やってくれるって言ってなかったっけ？
Shit. I messed up. In the main Sonozaki house, the maids do everything. Therefore, Mion hardly goes grocery shopping. And she bragged to some people about that even. Should have known better. Still, it wouldn't be too hard to find an excuse.
町に遊びに来るつもりでいたから、買い物を私が引き受けてきたわけよ。お分かり？
ミオンにしては珍しいね。普段はそういうのめんどくさいって言って嫌がりそうなのに。
そういうのを余計なお世話って言います。頭撫でないで。
Satoshi-kun seemed to be having fun with how embarrassed I get when he patted me. Anyway, I managed to talk my way out of it. He didn't seem to really care about the details. While walking with Satoshi-kun in the shopping district of Kamiishiki, it suddenly occurred to me. Why had I messed up? I'd known Mion would never go grocery shopping. What an amateurish mistake. Did I make that mistake when I was pretending to be Mion? No. I was probably speaking as Shion. I couldn't keep lying to myself. I just had to admit it. It was simply because I wanted to spend as much time with Satoshi-kun as possible. It was easy to see why I was so attracted to him. I found out. Shut the fuck up, dog. I'm reading. Bitch. 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 Schizo. Trash. Schizo. Trash. Lard. Big. Jug of lard. Tub of lard. Trash. Schizo. She really is a schizo, probably. I don't know what she sees. I found something intriguing in my boring life, and I didn't want to have to feel tense because he thought that I was somebody else, etc., etc. His easygoing. I hate that dog. His easygoing. Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. I'm reading. For the first time in my life, I'm actually reading. Fuck you. Garbage. Mid. His easygoing nature made him fun to be around, and his habit of petting people on the head was fun too. From these symptoms, I could tell that I was embracing the feeling of love. Wretched! 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 I was just casually enjoying that feeling. It wasn't that I fell in love with them. I was just having fun. I could simply spend more time with Satoshi-kun without having to think too much.
ブロッコリーってどれだっけ？緑だっけ？黄色だっけ？
サトシ君、そっちはカリフラワー。サトシ君ってひょっとしてキャベツとレタスの区別がつかないタイプ？
それはひどいよ。
Can that dog shut the hell up? She is so annoying and replaceable too. Very replaceable. If anyone wants an Anatolian Shepherd, just contact me and I can give you the details that you need to make my life happier. Honestly, you don't even need to pay me. Just take her.
これでも精一杯区別してるつもり。
Satoshi-kun stared at the heaps of broccoli and cauliflower. After thinking for a while, he reached out for the wrong one.
それ違う。
I'm gonna kill that dog, I swear to God.
サトシ君の買い物は見ててハラハラしますね。見てるこっちは楽しいけどさ。
参ったな。サトコと一緒の時にも迷うんだよ。ブロッコリーとカリフラワーはどっちが何色だ？
あんたら兄弟2人揃って面白すぎです。
Sis had told me that Satoshi was the flaky big brother to his nagging little sister. I hadn't met Satoko, but she must be having a tough time dealing with Satoshi-kun. He stumbles over everything he buys after all.
それは調理塩。胡椒とか混じってますから、卓上塩とは異なります。
え、そうなの？ほら、確か理科の実験で塩と胡椒を分離するのを確か。
言い訳はいいから棚に戻す。こっちが普通のお塩ね。で、次は？
ミオンがいてくれると買い物が楽で助かるよ。
サトシ君、頭良さそうに見えて社会生活に支障ありすぎです。もう少しお勉強した方がいいと思います。
それはひどいな。あった、これかな。ひょいひょい。
だからそれは何でもカゴに放り込む前に値段と何人分かをよく確認する。
My first impression of Satoshi was that he's strong and reliable, but the more I spoke to him, the more surprised of how clumsy and unreliable he was. How do I put it? It was hard to leave him alone. He was dangerous on his own. If he wasn't careful, he might start wondering, do you cross the street when the light is red? Or was it green? And then get himself run over by a dumb truck. Sweat drop.
1780円になります。スタンプカードはお持ちですか？
はい、あります。あれ、どこかな。
すみません。ちょっと見当たらないんで今度でいいです。
I finished checking out, ignoring Satoshi as he finished through his wallet full of receipts.
ひどいな、ミオン。スタンプちゃんと押さないともったいないよ。
あんた、夕暮れ時のお買い物ラッシュの時にのんびりと財布を漁ってスタンプカードなんか探さない。後ろに大勢待ってるんだから。私たちの後ろで海線山線のおばさま方が早くしなさいざますって目でギロギロ睨んでたの気づいてなかったんですか？そういう時はレジ前に並んでる時からあらかじめ用意しておくの。
そうか。いいことを聞いたよ。
This boy is a lost hope.
ちなみにここでのことだけじゃないですからね。バスに乗る時もそう。サトシ君、バスを降りようとして料金を入れる時、その時になって初めてお財布を開けて小銭をちまちまと探して後ろの人を詰まらせて待たせてるでしょう。
みんな僕を追い抜いて勝手に料金を入れてるかな。
それはね、すっごーく周りに迷惑をかけているのです。そういうのはあらかじめ用意しておくのがマナー。わかりました？
わかったよ。
Especially back in this time, too.
今日のミオンは怖いな。
Satoshi smiled as if patronizing me. Huh, couldn't believe it. He was definitely the type who made women want to protect him. Sure, he was fine with, as he was when he had a busy body like me around him, but I couldn't stop worrying about whether he would be able to function in society without somebody like that nearby. We got plastic bags and sorted out what we bought. Satoshi-kun put a pack of tofu at the bottom of the bag. I slapped his hand and put it in a milk carton instead.
はい、これで OK。 これで台所で買い物袋を広げてお母さんに仰天されなくて済みますからね。
助かったよ。僕はどうも買い物が苦手でさ。
買い物だけ？正直におっしゃい。
もう
嘘冗談。
I'd have realized a few things while I was spending my time with him today. He's not just bad at shopping, he's also chronically clumsy. In general, you could call him a slow thinker. That meant when he stepped into a quarrel with those punks, he must have needed a lot of courage. Does he have autism, maybe? Perhaps? Possible. He might be a simpleton, but he's not stupid. He's aware of his weaknesses. He must have been aware of the danger in that situation. He could have chosen to walk away even though I was in trouble. But he chose to be the man and step right in. It was really admirable of him.
偉い偉い。サトシ君は頑張ったよ。いい子いい子。
なんだよ。急に人の頭を撫でないでくれよ。
サトシ君が一人でお買い物ができましたでしょう。なでなでなで。
ミオン、 僕のことすっごいバカにしてるだろ。
Again, not Rika, so I think you're fine.
してないよ。お家一人で帰れるかな？道わかる？
やっぱりバカにしてる。
Satoshi-kun's sulky face flushed red. Ah, he's just too cute. At that point, I caught a glimpse of a billboard in the corner of my eye. Piano lessons, call XX. Abacus class. Junior baseball team, members wanted. It was a posting for the team Satoshi belonged to. It showed the time, day, and the place of their next practice. By then, I knew just how flaky he was. I figured he must have just been the same when playing baseball. Satoshi couldn't realize that I was reading the posting. He looked uncomfortable and walked
今
away.
サトシ君は思った。頼むからミオン、野球やってるとこまで来ないでくれよ。図星？そのムーってのはつまり何さ？図星ってことでしょ。
Satoshi-kun became quiet. After mumbling something. Why are they just doing that? If there's no commas or periods in between the shit, just show me the whole ass thing. What the hell? Makes me sound like an idiot when I'm reading, and I already sound like an idiot when I'm reading. It seemed like he couldn't say anything back, since I had been right on the money. Satoshi-kun, you're just too cute. Oh god, I hate saying these things out loud. I don't think going silent is a good way to dodge the issue. Well, that might have been the way for innocent people like him to react in a situation like that.
じゃあね、サトシ君。暗くなりかけてるから気をつけて帰ってね。
ミオンは一緒に帰らないのかい？ひなみ沢。
私はもうちょっと寄るとこありますんで、気にしないで先に帰ってください。
僕の買い物を手伝ってもらったんだから、今度は僕が手伝う。
大丈夫っていうか、サトシ君が何を手伝うおつもりで？人の手伝いする前に自分が手伝われなくて買い物できるようになっといてくださいな。
もう今日のミオンはひときわ意地悪かな。
He seemed to have had some pride, at least. He looked a bit upset because he was teased by a girl, but in contrast, I felt very satisfied. As a result, I forgot to keep my guard up.
でも手伝ってくれてありがとうね。
Nice.
本当に助かったから。
While wearing a bright smile, Sadako suddenly started stroking my head once again. Okay, I know he's teasing me, but oh, I can't reject him. Meh. He keeps doing it because he's realized that I will not resist. Oh.
じゃあね、ミオン。暗くならないうちに用事を済ませてね。また明日学校で。
また明日学校でね。
In fact, I wouldn't see him tomorrow at all. It felt awkward, but I had to settle for that. I had to thank Sis for letting me use her name. After I separated from him, I found myself giddy and wishing to see him again as soon as possible. I wanted to know more about him. I couldn't wait for my next chance to see him. Actually, maybe there was something I could do. Just like when I obtained my freedom from St. Lucia's, I could choose how to live my own life. Whatever, it wasn't that complicated. I just wanted to tease him more and wanted him to stroke my head more. And, whatever. I already knew the schedule for his baseball team. And we're going to invade his privacy and everything else. Oh, dear God. A crumpled diary. Oh god, this better not be from Satoshi. Honey, no! My aunt finally stopped her hysterical screaming. Today was just like any other day. I can't remember what set her off. Whatever it was, she changed subjects constantly anyway, so fucking didn't matter. She went on past midnight again. The urge to sleep was pounding in the back of my head. Once Satsuko was able to relax, she fell down on the spot and started sleeping, still clinging onto my sleeve. I carried Satsuko to the bedroom and laid out our
ほ
futon.
ら里子布団が敷けたよ布団に入りな
Satsuko crawled in like a worm. She stopped moving once she was inside. I wish I could go to bed too, but I couldn't. My aunt asked me to do some chores. I had to get toothpaste after school tomorrow. I had to write that down somewhere. I had to make rice for lunch tomorrow. I set a timer. Right. I also had to repile the towels in the bathroom. That was the reason for today's scolding. My aunt will get mad if anything isn't done the way she wants. Oh, there was something else. I was working at the grocery store the next day. They wanted me to bring an apron. Did we have an apron in this house? I've never seen one. My aunt will be sleeping when I go to school, so I won't have time to ask her. What should I do? Since Mion helped me get that job, I don't want to screw it up. In that case, why don't I ask Mion about it at school? She might lend me one. Was there anything else? I was envious about Satsuko because she got to go to bed. It was pathetic that I felt that way. Well, maybe pathetic's not the right word. At least I don't think so. You have different circumstances and shit, to say the least. To say the fucking least. But anyways, I'm gonna go ahead and end stream now. Has a lot of reading and I'm not used to it, and my brain hurts trying to think. So, never realized how I never really moved this up. Oh, because there's that X thing down there from VC Face. That's why I don't move it up. And I can't. Oh well. So I don't have a bottom part of my body. Don't worry about it. I'm not even real anyway. I'm just a fictional being from different realms. Don't worry about it. It's completely fine, completely normal. Don't worry about it. Ha! I am completely normal and completely well put together. That was a lie. But I mean, that doesn't say much. It's a lie. It's a lie. But anyways, I'll definitely find a time to stream this more. Story is a little harder to follow. Not in terms of understanding it, but in terms of it's very different from the previous chapters. So it doesn't really feel too... I don't know what the word is. I don't think it's coherent. I don't think that's the word for it. It just kind of feels all over the place and very different with the OSTs and whatnot, and I don't remember what I really did with all my settings back then. But that's fine. I'm still enjoying it all the same, so maybe it's something I gotta worry about. But anyways, y'all have a good night or whatever it is where you're at, and have a good one. Yeet.